Yo, it's your boy. Boxing Beats and Rhymes, predicting the future. Yeah, I told you. These things I am not new to. Predicting the future. I told you. I told you that Netflix had a plan. Jake Paul was bait to get AJ over onto the next floor platform. And they did that. They achieved it. It was a success. Yeah. Especially for AJ, not so much for Jake. His jaw will never be the same. Yeah. I told you guys that a potential AJ Fury fight will not land on the zone. It won't land on the zone. They can't afford to pay up the dough without Turkey. Now I need to get details. I said a potential Fury and AJ fight could end up in Netflix. People said, well, how is it going to do that? Tyson Fury's with the zone. Oh, is he though? Mike Coppinger just announced Tyson Fury versus Arslanbek Makmhudov, April the 11th on Netflix. Oh, yes, on Netflix. Yeah, on Netflix. So where do we go with that? Where do we go with that? I tell you what, man. I don't know where boxing is going right now. But the transfer market is probably more interesting than what's happening in the ring. So what happened to is Tyson Fury exclusive to Queensbury, exclusive to the zone? What's happening? And I told you this. I told you on the back of Tyson Fury doing that docu, whatever he did on Netflix, on the back of that, they're not just, listen, they're not giving you a documentary, right, on Netflix, paying you all that money if they don't intend to get you in the ring. They're not going to pay you the amount of purse that they paid AJ unless they're planning to get you in the ring to fight again. They're not going to, what, you think they just paid AJ a whole load of money? See, AJ, take the money. We don't want to build up that. We don't want no traction off the money we gave you. No. It's an investment. I know it's probably troubling some people. Beats is always right. He thinks he's always right. I tell you what, yeah? I tell you what. I'll go one better. I'll go one better. One sec. All right. Good thing I've sorted out my private play. All right, here we go. Mute. Not advertising your crap. I mean, man telling you that. Right. One sec. There you go. There you go. That video will tell you everything you need to know what I made. It will tell you everything you need to know what I said. Yeah. Big up, Daniel. Yeah, man. Get it in that gym. I just done my couple miles walk earlier. You know what I mean? Nah, he's too slow to give Tyson any type of test. It's good matchmaking because Makmhudov just beat Dave Allen in a big fight in the UK, but he's got no chance against Tyson Fury. He's got zero chance. Every time he tries to throw that long 1-2, Tyson will have him wrapped up. You know what I mean? He'll be just tapping him with that jab, And he's going to win an easy points decision. Easy points decision. Yeah, he's going to embarrass him, Daniel. He's going to embarrass him. He's going to make him look silly. He's going to make Arslanbek look silly. But it's a clever fight, though, because Arslanbek has got the monster reputation. It's a clever fight in saying that. Yeah. What did I call it? What did I title the vid? One sec. Let me get rid of all this advertising. People trying to tell you that Tai Chi can make you like some shredded Asian man. They just showed a 65-year-old guy whose physique was absolutely horrible. And in 5 weeks, the man looked like, what's his name? What's his name for the Kung Fu flicks? Bolo. He looked like Bolo in 5 weeks. Bull crap. At 65, you are not gaining all that muscle from weights, Tai Chi, or anything. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. The Netflix plan. That's it. That's the one. What was it called? Ain't I got it on the thing? What's happened to my timestamps? My timestamps ain't working. Yeah. Are Netflix planning to poach Anthony Joshua from the zone? 0:45 of the video. Right? 0:45. Don't be surprised if AJ Fury ends up on Netflix. Now you're saying, well, AJ's exclusive to the zone. Well, that didn't stop him from fighting Jake Paul, did it? He's exclusive to Jake. It didn't stop it. It didn't stop it at all. It didn't stop it. It didn't stop Katie Taylor from fighting Amanda Serrano twice on Netflix. It did it. No. Yeah. Promoters need to be worried right now. The traditional promoters, they need to be worried right now. What was Eddie Hearn saying today? People trying to get out of their contracts right now. Yeah. The old way of doing boxing promotions is coming to an end now. It's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. I need to find some more information on Tyson Fury fighting on Thing. Let me see what I can get. Tyson Fury versus Arslanbek Makmhudov. This is crazy. Where's Frank Warren to like break what's down? Because Mike Coppinger broke the story on Netflix. See, we pay all this bundle for DAZN, and they've done the living bait and switch. Not they've done a bait and switch, but that's why they made us pay. Those of us, that's why they made us pay up, and we blindly paid up our subscription, not knowing what the schedule is, and not knowing what fighters can they retain. So now I don't get to see Tyson Fury against Makmhudov now. All right, okay, great. I have to ask what I'm paying for now. Not going to see Canelo on there, his next fight. Not going to see Usyk on there. Don't know if AJ's fighting again. Former heavyweight world champion Tyson Fury will face Arslanbek Makmhudov in the UK on 11th of April as he ends his latest spell of retirement. The fight will be broadcast on Netflix. Will be Fury's first fight since he lost his rematch to the unified Alexander Usyk in December 2024. 37 years of age, retired a month after the defeat, but announced his return to boxing earlier this month. Excited to be back, Fury said, "Heart's always been and always will be in boxing. Someone go tell the king that the ace is back." Russian Makmhudov, 36 years of age, has won 21 of his 23 fights and beat Britain Dave Allen in his last bout in September in the Sheffield Arena. Doesn't say nothing about Netflix. Right. The biggest surprise a BBC journalist is talking about. We've always lost count of how many times he's retired and returned, but that is landing on Netflix with a global subscriber base of 325 million people. This is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying. Listen, Frank and Eddie, they need to start working together or they're going to get cooked. They're going to get cooked. You need to get together or you're going to get cooked out there, bro. You're going to get cooked. It underlines Fury's status as one of boxing's few genuine crossover stars. Love him or loathe him, Fury is box office a fighter who attracts attention well beyond the sport. And it's also striking given Fury is promoted, yes, by Frank Warren's Queensberry Promotions, who broadcast exclusively with DAZN. Yet Warren has allowed the Gypsy King to step outside the arrangement on this occasion. That's clever from Frank Warren if that's what he's doing. Because let's take Anthony Joshua, for example. Now, let's put the crash aside. I know it's hard to, but I mean, two young men lost their lives. Rest in peace to both of them. But if the crash didn't happen, hypothetically speaking, right? Eddie Hearn and DAZN loan AJ out to Netflix to a global audience of 325 million people. And we saw how the BITCHs loved him out there, right? He was very popular out there. So that means when he returns to DAZN, he brings, if it's even 2% of the Netflix subscriber base over to DAZN, it's 2%. Yeah? 2% of 2 million is good, right? 2% of 5 million is good. 2% of 1 million is good. And it's likely to be more than that. That was just a ballpark to give you, keep you in the loop, right? Okay. So Tyson wants to return to the throne. And Warren said he's 100% him just to do that. He posted on X. But obviously, Frank will probably turn up. They're probably going to invite Frank over like they invite Eddie over to Netflix to help build up the promotion. It's going to be in the UK. The fight's going to be in the UK. This is the first time Fury's fought in the UK since 2022. So he's going to have to reapply for that British license whether he likes it or not. The fight is backed by who? Guess who's back in the fight, people? Turki Al-Sheikh. Yes. Turki Al-Sheikh is back in it. The number of shows taking place in Riyadh may be dwindling, but the money and influence behind the sport remain Saudi-led. The fight is backed by Turki Al-Sheikh. Yes, under the Ring magazine banner. No sanctioning bodies allowed. You see how they're moving? See how they're moving? See how Jake Paul, everyone's moving around the sanctioning bodies right now. They're moving around them. All the big fucking events. Sorry to swear. Let me retract the curse. All the big events right now are going to attempt to cut out the sanctioning body. Yes. There's a good chance Jai Pattaya, after he beats, if he beats McCallion, he gives up both belts because he'll have nothing more to prove. And he could just parade around as Ring Magazine champion And if you want to be the best cruiserweight, you have to come see Jai. Pay no sanctioning fees. You get to be on the huge platform of Paramount. See, DAZN. See, here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing. Right, because we're boxing fans. Boxing fans don't understand certain things. Like when they're telling me, "Nah, Beats, it was good that Dalton Smith won the fight in Brooklyn, even though Eddie lost the purse bid." What is it? They don't get it. Boxing fans are very, very, very insular in their thinking, and nobody loves boxing more than me. But I understand that when I talk, I'm in an echo chamber. It's a niche sport. Zero people saw my kid, Dalton, win the title. Dalton should be almost like Ricky Hatton right now with that fighting style. But his fight wasn't promoted in the UK. None of the media went over to Brooklyn. It wasn't on DAZN, which is not a big platform as it is. But if you take away even a platform like DAZN and you're on Fresh Promotions doing some pay-per-view, if any one of you know, right, without going right to the internet, to Google, tell me what platform that was on pay-per-view. Tell me what the platform was, because I don't know. I bet none of you off the top of the head could tell you the name of the platform where they streamed that pay-per-view. And that will tell you how poorly it did. No one saw Dalton Smith, right? You compare that to how much people are going to watch Tyson Fury, right? How much people saw AJ. This is the way forward, right? For those of us who paid for that bundle, we're going to have to think about paying for the next one when it runs out. Yeah? They're going to have to answer some questions, and we need to demand. They ain't going to get, you think I'm going to fucking hand over a next, what was it, near 300 pounds? And I don't know who you're going to have on the deck. I have to know the roster. I have to know at least a hypothetical schedule. And if you can't live up to that, you need to refund my money. Yeah. There's no way. Let me tell you this now. There is not a chance, right, that DAZN will be broadcasting AJ versus Fury. Not a chance, right? There's not a chance that when Terence Crawford comes back, because he will come back, because the amount of money they're going to offer him, he's going to be back. He will not be fighting on DAZN or Canelo. Neither of them will be on DAZN. DAZN is going to be listen, they're still going to have good cards. They're still going to have good cards, right? Barrios versus Garcia has got quite a tight card. We'll talk about that in a minute, though. Yeah. DAZN is they hate DAZN in America. The Americans hate DAZN. They don't like DAZN. The platforms they're going to gravitate to over across the pond are Paramount and Netflix. In the absence of Showtime and HBO, Paramount and Netflix are the big players now. Yep. See, the amount of money they're paying, that they had to get in Makmhudov. They can't get away with Sephra Sefri, and it was the other guy they got when he first made that comeback in 2018. I forgot his name. Some European. So they've had to get Makmhudov is a respectable name. You see? There we go. So what next should he come through? Question mark. The pursuit of the long-awaited Anthony Joshua fight, which was expected to happen in 2026, has understandably cooled after Joshua's crash in December. That's the fight Netflix won, right? That's the fight Netflix won. And with the amount of money Netflix are willing to pay for it, DAZN will just take their cut because that's what you know. AJ had to pay DAZN 10 million or something to get that fight. And listen, if they're going to pay Fury exorbitant amounts of money and AJ, they'll both give up their cut. They'll both give DAZN their cut, and they'll fight on Netflix. Yeah. What's up, Bruce Gas? Big up HC. That's the one. Pianetta. Pianetta. Yeah. Big up Leon Figures. Big up Anthony Mackin. Anthony says these fans need to F Fury off. These old fighters are jarring. Yeah, man. Okay, some people are betting on Makmhudov. Jim at Jim. Got Philip Hanser in the building. Daniel says, DAZN owe you man money. Daniel didn't pay for it. I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you. Jim didn't get the notification. Yeah, DAZN are trying to play me. Daniel says, you see all them adverts in Liverpool Street Station. The guy goes from looking like Joe off the couch to shredded with a tan. Who's that? Tyson Fury. Maybe the beef has come back. Tony, he said he's not signing up to DAZN, even when they do make fights that are good. More often, they get delayed and get cancelled. Wow. Wow. They hate DAZN in America. They got no time for this. And listen, I don't blame them. It doesn't cater to their timeline in terms of when the fights, what time the fights are on. You know what I mean? It doesn't cater to them. But then again, it doesn't cater to me often. Like, I'm going to have to stay up to what time to watch Shakur Stevenson and Tio. But it is more Euro-centered. And he's hoping that Makmhudov can find a punch from the GODs that puts Fury into permanent retirement in a yeah, man, Fury. Fury's on Netflix. That's crazy. Yeah. It's all changed right now. Daniel said, no, I'm referring to what you were saying earlier about them fake fitness transformation adverts. Oh, yeah. Total ripoff, bro. You know what I mean? Total ripoff. Do 6 weeks of Tai Chi, and you end up looking like Bolo in Into the Dragon or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. I mean, at 65 years of age, this 65-year of age probably hasn't trained since he was 30, yeah? Since he was 30 or something. And he's going to do some arm movements, some Tai Chi arm movements, and get shredded up. Come on now. Come on. That is manifestation till absurd levels. Anthony said, I skipped those ads. Bolo from Enter the Dragon. Yeah, man, chest all pumped out. Like flipping out. 70-year-old, you know. Listen, you cannot replenish the amino in the muscles to that level in your 70s and 60s. You cannot. Even at my age, you cannot. It is what it is. Yeah? Can't do it. Lies. Yeah, you see, what's his name? Bam trying to get out of his contract with Eddie Hearn, yeah? You see Bam trying to get out of his contract. He don't want to be on the zone. Because, listen, and it's not just the fans, the fighters, not all of them. Some of them will be grateful to be on the zone and get a check. Some of them will be grateful to get on the zone and get a check. Don't get me wrong. But we're in a transitional period right now. We are in a transitional period. Yeah, that's it, Daniel. To get that type of physique, you have to be in the gym consistently. You can't have long breaks off, you know what I mean? And then you come out all shredded like that, moving your arms around, doing Tai Chi. Yeah? I even asked my brethren who does capoeira and stuff. I said, can you get... And he said, no, you come on, man. You're a big man. You know you can't do that. I said, it's nonsense. We'll get back to the boxing in a minute. You know what I noticed, though, right? I drive up to Ali Pali because there's a lot of hills to do my walks, right? There's a lot of hills and a lot of nice walk spaces and stuff. You know what I noticed today, right? All the people who live around Ali Pali walking, and it's mainly old people, couples, just women, like see women going on power walks, right? And people just walking, older men and younger men. You know what I noticed? No obesity at all. Because a lot of them, right, they're not even working out. They're just in their regular civvies, yeah, walking, right? But if you're doing the hills every day, even if you're just going up once and down, right? Every day. You know what you don't get? You don't get obese. You don't get obese. None of the people are fat. People walking their dogs, walking their stuff, and they're just walking at a leisurely pace, just walking around the place, right? None of them are fat. None of them. Then when you go into the city, into the ends and there, then you see fat people like crazy. You see people overweight everywhere. And you know what that is? A lot of people don't use the open spaces. They just stay trapped up in the city thing and behind their phones. Yeah. Yeah. The hills. Go walk if you just walk, you know, like, because I can't do the runs like that no more. It just mash, my knees will just collapse. My knees will just collapse. Daniel said Zoof are gonna snatch up Bam. Oh, they're trying hard. They're trying hard. Daniel says them men are all on EPO and all kinds of steroids. Yeah. Yeah. Anthony said, my fighting weight was 75 kilograms in my late 30s. He said, I weigh 90 now. And I'm obese. The older you get, oh, you're not obese. Yeah, 90 kilograms is not obese. The older you get, the more your metabolism slows down. That's right. So let's like, what's in the workout? Some ginseng root? You know what I mean? Like, come on now. Come on, bro. You know what I mean? The only way that's going to happen is if you're taking something. You have to be taking some type of supplement, right, to get that type of shape. Daniel's got Duarte beating Hitchens. I'll disagree with you on that one, Daniel. I'll disagree with you on that one. I've got Hitchens shutting him out. I've got Hitchens shutting him out. But hey, it's an interesting contest. But yeah, you see, Hitchens is on Golden Boy. He's on Golden Boy. And you see, Oscar was true to his word, wasn't he? He was true to his word. Let me have a look at the card. Where's the card? I've got Oscar was true to his word. Let me see the card lineup. What did he say? He said he and Al have got it together. See if I can find it. All right, there we go. Yeah. So it's a Golden Boy PBC card. Right? We've got Barrios, PBC, versus Garcia, Golden Boy. Richardson, free agent, against Duarte, Golden Boy. Gary Antoine Russell, PBC. I don't know where Hiroka comes from. That's a really good fight, though. And it's a good card. It's a decent card. It's not pay-per-view as far as I know. It's a good card. You got Frank Martin versus Nia Albright. That's a good matchup. Right? Albright is the one who gave, what's his name? Keyshawn a contest, if I remember correctly. Then you got Beck Bully versus Sina Akbeko. Although Akbeko's been knocked out bad a couple of times. So you'd have to imagine if Beck Tamir catches him with anything solid, something similar will happen. See, but Oscar's smart and the PBC are smart, right? They see what's happening now, right? The Zone are not really flavored them up with Oscar. So he's paired up with Al in case it goes spare, right? So he'll jump ship and almost amalgamate with the PBC. I'm not sure if they'll make a joint venture. They should do, though, right? And that will probably ensure their survival for at least a few years. Yeah? And if Frank Warren and Eddie don't do that, could find themselves in serious shit. Yeah. 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 This. They need to be very careful. They need to be very careful. Bam trying to get out of his contract right now. Apparently Eddie matching, right? But what's his name? Robert Garcia said they're still mulling over other offers. How can you be mulling over offers if the matching right has been made? No, the way they see it is that Eddie took too long to come back with the matching right. So there's issues there. They're trying to get out of the contract. And listen, it's no point trying to keep fighters who are not happy in contract, because all you're going to do is keep them in litigation, keep them on the sidelines. They're not going to want to fight for you, right? And if they do fight for you against what they want to do, it's not a good look for them. You're endangering their health. You need fighters who want to fight under the conditions that you have. And Bam don't want to fight. Bam wants to go on Zuffa, right? Bam wants to fight on Paramount. You know why he wants to fight on Paramount? Because Paramount have a way bigger subscriber base than DAZN. And it's an American. The Americans ain't tuning in. The DAZN subscribers are coming from us and other territories. It's not coming from America. They are not into DAZN. They see it as a Euro-centered platform. They're not interested. They're not interested. It is what it is. That's a good card, actually. I'm not going to lie. That Golden Boy card is pretty good. A pretty good card. I think Richardson will beat Duarte, however. I think Barrios is going to upset Ryan. I don't know much about this Hiroka guy, but Gary Antoine is pretty useful. But I don't know much about his opponent. They say he's pretty useful. The Frank Martin Nia Albright at light welter, I don't know. I don't know. Whew. Yeah, man. The zone is very unpopular right now. Got us paying out this big flipping subscription. And what are we getting back? Well, that's a good card, to be honest. That's a good card. And Shakur versus T.O., that's a good fight. That's a good fight. But they need to start upping the unifications and undisputed fights. They need to up that. Leon says incline, treadmill, or hill walking is the cheat code to fat loss. There you go. There you go. And see, people are doing, I see people like who shouldn't be running, right? I see a lot of people who shouldn't be running. You know how I know they shouldn't be running? Because when I used to run, I was aesthetically and physically in better shape than they were, right? I was in better shape than they were. But you see, with I'm going to say it, right? If you're West Indian or West African, right? Our body types are not really designed about them long distance runs like that because we're very dense. We've got very dense bone structure. Yeah, very dense muscle. And you'll be better if you're of a similar physique like I was when I was younger, like pretty muscle without being shredded because I didn't do the big weights. You'd be better doing walks, hill walks like Leon is saying, or short sprints as opposed to long distance running. And even if you're not from that ethnicity, yeah, if you're heavily set, right, you really don't want to be doing them long runs because it just tears up your joints. Just tears up your joints. Then after a time, you're not going to want to walk because your cartilages are all worn out and your knees just can't take it. Just can't take it. Jim says 20 to 30-minute walks are good for body and mind. Yeah, they are. Let me just see this comment here. It makes a good point. Yeah, man. So I'm just catching up. All right. The real one, he says, why don't you, what you don't see is they do Tai Chi behind closed doors. Okay. I don't know what. Okay. Leon said he lost his weight from walking and eating clean, keeping it off my lifting weights after not eating like a damn monk. Yeah, you need to I do some strength resistance, you know what I mean? But I don't at my age I'm just not doing heavyweights. Not doing heavyweights. Hands, he says Zupa seem to be clueless. They have the Ring magazine. So pay now, bring the champions with belts, consolidate under the Ring belt, and then you have lineal, then you have lockdown. Hard to out a diet. How to out diet a secondary lifestyle. Move more, eat well. Says Soul of a Robot. Bruce, he says, you better start now before somebody in a white jacket tell you it's now or never. Fight Fan Live. When last you hear these men use Big Bear for training camps? Who's that? That's Abel Sanchez's joint, isn't it? Abel Sanchez. Anthony said, I played a full second half of football last week, Saturday, and I loved it. I was running up and down that field like a youngster. We won 1-0 in a cup game. I'm loving my amateur sportsman life. Yeah, that's it. Because your activity is what keeps the mind strong and the body. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I've noticed. Around that area where all that grassy, hilly area, you see an old boys just walking up the hill. And none of them are fat. None of them have got weight issues. That's likely because they've lived, a lot of them have lived there, maybe not their whole life, but for years. And they do that walk some of them are just going shop. I see one girl, a young girl, like dressed up in her nice clothes and stuff and her shoes, and she's walking with 4 cans of Guinness, but she's walking up the hill from the shop. She could have took the bus, but no, she's walking up the hill. And a lot of people don't walk. They take the car every second. They get in the car. They don't have a bike, and if they got a bike, it's got to be an e-bike. You know what I'm saying? They get an e-bike. No, just get a regular bike. You know what I mean? If you want to get about in the city, if as long as you don't have to get, if you're traveling to work, then it's different, right? Then there's a lot of people who just cycle to work. But yeah, get a regular cycle and make your moves. Daniel said he got up to 115 kilo and it took him a year to get down to 105. No drink or potion, just hard work. Yeah. Anthony said he'd have to starve himself to get down to 75 kg. He'd have to starve himself daily and eat very light and work out every day. But see, you don't want to deplete yourself. That's the thing, because you're not trained to make weight. So there's no need to do that. You know what I mean? You just got to stay out of the pre-diabetes range, and then you're good. Soul of a Robot, how old are you now, Anthony? He said he's 52. And he's smashing hills like he's in his youth again. That's good. I'm 57. I'm doing my little hills. Anthony's 47. I'm 57. I'm 58 in a couple of days. Fight Fan Live, he said Albright ran Keyshawn close when Keyshawn came in overweight. Then Albright beat Keyshawn's brother and they jumped him afterwards. Yeah, that was disappointing. Although he did apologize for his ways. He realizes that he was doing a lot of stuff and not taking accountability. You know what I mean? Unlike Tank, he still took accountability. Soul of a Robot, definitely hard to lose weight though. Best to try keeping it off rather than getting fat and dieting. Thing is, though, is that, you know, the difficult thing is, man, like, everybody, well, I assume most people like food, innit? Everyone likes food. That's the difficult thing. But it's knowing the cutoff line when too much is too much and not eating the wrong foods. Is Garcia Barrios funded by Turkey? I'm not sure. It might be. Let me have a look, actually. Is Garcia versus Barrios sponsored by the Ring magazine? Let me see. Let's have a look. If not, I'll have a look in box rec if it can't tell me there. Ring magazine. Mario Barrios is he's going to beat Ryan. He's going to beat Ryan. He's going to beat Ryan, and badly as well. And badly. He's going to beat Ryan and beat him badly. Ryan Garcia is a phony. He's one good win. He tarnished it. Let's have a look. T-Mobile Arena. It's on the zone. See, it's got Tom Brown, Oscar De La Hoya. It's basically PBC and thing. I'm not sure if is it Ring? Let me have a look at the poster. Look at the poster here. I don't think it is. I don't think it is sponsored by Turkey. I'm not sure if it is. Right. Things playing about. My mouse is playing about for some reason. Okay. Doesn't say it. It's it just says T-Mobile the Zone Barrios. It would say Ring Magazine in it. I don't think it is. That's a really good card for them to put on like that without Turkey's money. I would have to imagine that Ring would Turkey have to be involved for that lineup there. I mean, they've got, what was it, 3 world title fights there? You could be right. Daniel says the best method to lose fat is the strength training. It's definitely one of them. That and the hills. Fight Fan Life, it says his cousin Danny is Ryan Garcia's new strength and conditioning coach. He's looking in great condition. You're picking him to stop Barrios. Okay. He might be using something else as well as the strength and conditioning. Daniel says problem is the Caribbean diet contains a ton of starch and fat. And you know what the issue is with that, Daniel? Is if you bring it up amongst Caribbeans, they'll tell you, what about what everyone else? Don't worry about what everyone else eats. Other people don't get sickle cell or diabetes at the rates or prostate that we do. Why are you worrying about what other ethnicities are eating or what their sensibilities are? The truth is the truth. Our diet does contain a lot of starch and fat, right? If you're going to be boiling up white rice, which turns to sugar very quickly, and eating that 4 or 5 times a week or whatever, yes, you're setting yourself up for potential issues. Yes. It does contain a lot of starch. Yeah, hey, listen, it tastes as good as anything, right? And he said we have fast twitch muscles designed for sprinting. Yeah, we're better over short distances. Those of us who are from West Indian and West African lineage, we're better suited for shorter distance running than long distance, even in swimming and stuff like that. Not saying we can't do it. We can do it and be the better. Yeah, we can, but it's not what we're designed for. At the optimum. Yeah. Daniel says running is very hard on your joints, especially if you're a bigger man. I think you are over 6 foot and weigh over 100 G. You should invest in cycling. Yeah. Yeah. It's Cycling over running. Yeah. 100%. Fight Fan Live. He says, yeah, Caribbean people are built for interval sprints. East Africans are built for long distance running. There you go. There you go. Because even their calves, they don't have the same calf development, the East Africans. That attributes while they're able to keep that rhythm running for them distances like that. I remember they done this program, and this was in the 90s. It was either in the 90s or the 80s, yeah. And they basically got these middle distance runners, and I'm talking up that like they was established runners, right, at a good level. Maybe not top Olympians or whatever, but they were European. These European guys, like men, and they were good runners. And they got two Ethiopians. Was it Ethiopians? Who had never done any running or training on any level like that, right? And within months, the Ethiopians, after training and thing, had caught up and started outdoing them. It is what it is. It is what it is. Sound of Music said, no respect, no disrespect, but who is Arslanbek Makmhudov? If you don't know, you have to go find out. Do your due diligence. Derek Clark, he says, Arslanbek is a mean Neanderthal. He's a very good opponent for Fury. Jim, he says, sometimes I wait for the W3 NGL. Is that a postcode? Mike Henry said, hill walks in the swimming pool helped me lose 4 stone in weight. Do you know how much swimming is now? It costs nearly £8 to have a swim as an adult. Nearly £8 to go swimming. And here's the thing, right? If they're going to complain that there's an obesity crisis in the country, but yet you're pricing people out or going for, like, see, swimming is one of the basic exercises, right? Most people can do it to a certain level, but you're pricing people out of swimming pools now. And you're allowing people to open up fried chicken shops everywhere. There should be a cap on that for a start. There should be a cap on how much processed food they sell in the supermarkets as well. £8. It's about $7.50 to go swimming. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Big up Bruce. He says he's hitting the road for a couple of miles. Be listening in. No problem, Bruce. Yep, that's a very good point. Fight Fan Live. A lot of kids and teens are not doing chores either, but they are at Morley's. Says chores, all that stretching and scrubbing, bending down to clean skirting boards, etc., keeps you in good nick, especially when you're a youth. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And it also accounts to why a lot of women are overweight these days. They don't want to do them traditional chores. They don't want to bend down and thing. And I'm not saying that it should be on them, but how do you, like, women generally can't push weights like that, right? They can, but not to the same level as a man do. And most don't like it. If women are doing things, they rather do them like dance aerobic things, and it keeps them healthy. But that's why a lot of women are not in shape. They don't like. All right, forget the scrubbing floors because it sounds sexist, even when it's coming out of my mouth. But a lot of them See with the shopping that I was talking about? See, my mum would walk to West Green Road with bags in her hand and then come back to near up where Tiverton Estate is, right? For the shopping. Yeah. That's why they live long. Just got to say it here. Women have to look out for this obesity crisis probably more than men do right now. I've seen a lot of women out right now out of shape, horribly out of shape. Horribly out of shape, right? Because they're not doing a lot of stuff that our mothers and women of the previous gen were doing. They're just not. Jim said, what? Happy birthday, Beats. Not yet. Don't age me up yet. A couple of days still. Bruce says, don't eat junk and work out as best you can. Very simple. Yeah, I try not to eat junk, man. I mean, like, big up Shamala Turner. What's up? My ex's daughter, her name was Shamala. Good kid. Ulix said, yeah, it's a ring card. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's how they're managing to get a lineup like that. So it looks like the PBC are navigating into the zone slowly but surely. Yeah. Yeah, at Fight Fan Live, dustpan and brush and shoveling, snow, yep, all helps, but people using hoovers and only electric gadgets. Yeah. And, you know, like, even like takeaway. People are not walking to get takeaway no more. They're getting it delivered to. How lazy is that? You're getting processed junk, right? And you're not even walking to get it to burn up some of the calories. Nah, you're getting it brought to you. Oh boy, that is crazy. That is crazy. Derek Clark said seed oils are in everything. Yeah, they're supposed to. Are they? What ones are supposed to be bad? Shamala said, yeah, it's a Ring magazine card. Who have I got? Sanchez versus Torres. I don't know, you know. I just got a feeling that Torres is going to beat him somehow, you know. But he won't stop him, though. It might be a controversial points decision. Boxing Lounge. He says you need to increase your base metabolic rate, resting rate as well. All right, that's interesting. What's that all about? Sounds a bit scientific. Let me see. Let me put that into Google. What you're saying there? Increase metabolic rate. And I'll comment on a fancy theory and words of them. Increasing metabolic rate is best achieved by building muscle through regular strength training, consuming high protein food, and staying hydrated. Key strategies include lifting weights, performance hit, high intensity interval training, drinking green tea or coffee. I'm shocked they allowed coffee in there. And ensuring adequate sleep. One thing I'm not a good sleeper. My sleep patterns have gone horrible. I don't know why. Muscles burn more calories than fat, even at rest. Okay. protein intake: meat, fish, eggs, dairy, and this word I can't spell. Legunaceae. What's that? Legumes? What is that? What is that? All right, that's seeds, yeah? That's seeds. No, it's peas. It's peas and bean. The pea and bean family are a group of plants in the family of Fabaceae or Leguminosae. I mean, never heard that word there. Fancy word there. Low impact cardio, says Bruce. Social joints, he says, not true. Black folk can swim well, very well. There's black folk that swim and catch fish underwater. It's mad. It's just Western black folk stopped swimming. All right, that makes sense. Social joints. It does make sense. Does make sense. That does make sense. See, that's one of them old racial stereotypes where see, you're probably right. No, not you're probably. You're 100% right. But we was always told that blacks can't swim. We was always told that. And even in football, when it gets cold and on the football pitch, they won't show up. And we can't swim. We was told that. And like, maybe we bought into that. Yeah. Daniel says famine forced East Africans to adapt. That's why they are generally better marathon runners. Also, altitude plays a huge part. Makes sense. Ulix, he said, I think it's a lot of money to swim. £8 to go swimming. And you know what they like? What they're saying? Because it was in the newspapers. Because we have to pay staff. Well, you had to pay staff when I was a kid, and it was a lot cheaper. Oh, we got to pay for the rising fuel costs. Come on, man. Come on, dog. Handy says, fear not, you will have your OAP discount soon. I think I'm probably still 7-10 years off that, bro. Anthony says he's paid $130 for a second lot of 13 weeks blocks of swimming lessons. Okay, you're just learning. Well, hey, listen, better late than never. Better late than never. See this? Yeah. I remember learning how to swim, man. Flipping hell. When I was a kid, I think I learned when I was about 8 or 9. Daniel says, notice how every time AJ does cardio, he's only on the bike. When you are a bigger man, running wears out your joints. And I saw Mike Tyson talking to Terence Crawford. And Mike said he saw Sugar Ray Robinson. And Mike, obviously was overwhelmed. And he saw him in the flesh and he spoke to him and he said, Mike said, after I see this Edward, I went home and he ran 10 miles. He ran 10 miles and Terence Crawford said, man, that's a lot of miles, man. He said, why boxers think they got to run? Terence don't run like that. And Mike said, and when Terence asked Mike why he does all that running, Mike said it probably makes people think that they're fitter than they are. And he said, Cus D'Amato, he didn't require his boxers to do all that running. He said, because like Mike was living with him and he had a lot of young people living with him who were training out to box and whatnot. He said, you'll be better off cleaning your room than riding a bike. You'll be better off cleaning your room. That's what Cuss told him. That's deep, isn't it? You'll be better off cleaning your room than go running. That's deep. That's deep. See that, like when you watch all them martial arts films and the young prodigy wants to learn from the old master, and they say the first thing you're going to do, you're going to clean out the thing. You're going to clean. Well, that's not going to teach me. Yeah, but it's teaching you other philosophies before you learn how to fight. Mike Henry, and to add to your point, the pool's nearly always empty because, I can imagine they're empty. I can imagine the pools are empty now. Yeah. I went swimming last year, right? And I went in there and I'm looking at the diving boards and I'm thinking, wow, look how high it is. And I used to dive off that. I used to dive off that high board. I said, what was I thinking? And like it was nothing. I used to proper dive off the high board. Bam, I'm doing that now. I'm just looking at it. I'm just looking at the board saying, yeah, I ain't climbing the steps. I'm not even climbing the steps. If I was to climb on that board, I'd get vertigo right now. Since them days, I've developed the fear of heights and all sorts. There's just no way I'm diving off that board. And that board is small compared to the board in Edmonton. The one in Edmonton was high. It was like in the sky. Lord. Wow. Oh, so that is a Ring Magazine card. That makes sense. Hey, there's a lot of boxing on, man. A lot of good cards on right now. This is quite a busy start of the year. The big issue, though, is we're not getting enough unifications. There's not enough unifications. You know what I mean? Not enough unifications. They should go straight into Dalton Smith and Hitchens. There's no reason that you're both fighting on the zones and like, forget Duarte. Don't fight Duarte. You know what I mean? August, Dalton Smith and Hitchens. Why are you just holding on to the strap? Oh, we're just holding to the straps and let everything just clog up. Why? Why? It's boring. It's flipping boring, man. It's boring. Flipping boring. Boxing Lounge, should refined sugar be restricted? Boy, well, if I'm going by this thread here, with everybody speaking, I think most people would say you restrict it. You just don't use it. Just don't feed it to your kids that like that, and don't feed yourself with it. See, the thing is though, when I was younger, we just ate refined sugar. We just ate it, but there wasn't as much processed foods, and there wasn't as much junk food as there is now. And also, see that debit card? That debit card has attributed to the obesity crisis. That debit card has attributed to the obesity crisis, right? See, when I was a kid, the butcher was round the corner. And people used to go to the butcher. Local butcher was busy all the time. Busy, right? Our parents did like, and I'm not just talking about the black community. All parents didn't really shop in supermarkets for food. They didn't. They bought their meat from the butchers. They bought their fish from where the man sell fish, right? If you're Caribbean, there's certain shops that will sell the yam, dashi, plantain, yellow yam, etc., right? You buy all your food there, right? But now, you see what's happened, right? You see that debit card? That debit card is some devil business. It's some flip, and right. You see what I've started training myself to do, right? Is go out and leave my debit card in the yard. Don't bring it out with me, because you see what happens when you bring the debit card, right? It tells you, yeah, I can just go in there and then just did it. And you see, the thing is, right? I'm old enough to remember getting paid cash money as a pay YE employee, right? Being pay YE employed. And when you get your money in your hand, right? It's different to when you've got a plastic card just licking it up on this barcode every second. It's totally different, right? The debit card is like you're not actually spending nothing. That's what it's telling you. The debit card is telling you you're not spending money. No, you're spending money. When you get your cash in your hand for the week, right? You're saying, all right, I have to put this aside for that and that aside for that, and then I'll maybe put this in the bank, right? You're not doing that now. It's all in the bank already. So you can't even separate your savings from your outgoings. It's all in the same system. And what people, when they're coming home from work, okay, oh, I need this. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. If you didn't have that debit card, you wouldn't need to go buy this from the supermarket and this from the supermarket. And them things are used mostly in supermarkets. They've got us spending ridiculously. You see what they're doing? They've got self-service now. So all you got to do is and lick up your card on the tin. Buying what? What are you buying? How much time do you buy just a piece of veg and fruit with a debit card? No, you're going to end up buying some junk. Because of that card, that bloody card. If you were to take your money and say, right, I have depending on your circumstance, if you've got kids or a family there, we have a £40 restriction on food for the week, right? You'd have way more control of your finances, and your grocery at the end of 7 days will look totally different. They know what they're doing. That's some I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, it's some devil business. Oh, Jimmy says the W3 bus from Northumberland Park is the only bus that goes up the hill in Ali Pali. Is that true? What about where does the 184 go? Yeah, it's some devil business, bro. Anthony said far too many of the sisters over 30 are out of shape. That they are. They mean like a lot. See, you know the weird thing is, Anthony, right? When you see the black women around Ali Pali and Muswell Hill, they're in shape. They're all in shape because they're walking up the hill all the time. They're walking. Either going on a power walk or just walking. The black women there, but then when you go nearer to the hood, then you start seeing, oh boy, that don't look too healthy. You know what I mean? Not saying that I'm overweight as well, but bloody hell, that don't look healthy. It doesn't look healthy. So there is I'd say that there is an information issue as well. And you could put that down to class, where certain people in certain areas are either ignoring the information or they're being miseducated on nutrition. Yeah, I noticed that. I didn't want to bring it up. When I see the black women around Ali Pali and Muswell Hill, right? They're not fat. They're not overweight. Yeah. Let me read these super chats out. HC says, how many tune-ups has Tyson Fury had since winning his first title in 2015? A whole load. And at Eson77, appreciate the super chat at HC. Eson, he says, we appreciate your time and enthusiasm, Beats. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. Big up for the super chats. Flipping hell, bro. Yeah. Boxing Lounge is about burning more calories while resting. You still need to be active and clean living, laughing out loud. Okay. Yeah, but I've heard what is like, see what you're saying. I've heard people talk about that, actually burning calories while you're resting. Because you do need, I don't sleep properly. I don't sleep. And I think it has affected my health. I think my sleep patterns have actually affected me more than the weight I've accumulated over the years. I think that's affected me more. Daniel says training legs will help increase your metabolism. Yeah, you see that's the thing, right? That's another thing I was told is when you get to my age, right? When your health starts deteriorating, right, and your physicality starts deteriorating, you know where it's the legs. If your legs start getting weak, you're on the route to being basically effed. When your legs start getting weak, yeah, when your legs start getting weak, you got to train from the legs. All right, Bruce said it's actually called basal metabolic rate. Okay. Jim, what's the prediction for this weekend's card? All right, let's start with that. Then we can get back on some nutrition and health, which is good. It's all tied into boxing anyway, so it's all tied in. I'll get to some of Danny's comments after. Right. All right. So where should we start? Right. Let's start. Adam Azim and Gustavo Lemos, they both pulled out injured on BBC. So Francesca Hennessy headlines. Don't know her opponent. No point really going there. Gladys Krause debuts against Boris Crichton. He should win that fight. I'm not going to ask anyone if they think Boris is going to upset the odds. So let's go to Josh Kelly. Let me get the card up and then we go through the predictions on the card. Right. Let me just quickly do that. Josh Kelly. Let's go to that card. Let's start with the undercard first, yeah, and then we'll go to the big thing. All right. I don't know all the matchups. We assume Leo Atang is going to beat Amin Busetta. Well, I tell you what, one person I feel sorry for, right, is Taylor Gensen, because she's got to fight that Turhan. She's got to fight the Turkish early shavers woman. I don't admire you at all. I don't admire your job at all, bro. You're gonna get in there with her. I tell you what, boy. You've got a couple of choices, right? Keep your gloves up tight, get your legs moving, or fight fire with fire and fight it hard. Fight it hard. She's gonna walk through. If you're not up to point, if you're not on point, if you're not up to par, if you're not at your very best, if you're not better than your very best, she's knocking you out. One by one, she's knocking you out. Like Schoolie D on PSK. Yeah. You're getting knocked out. Because what that girl done, I feel sorry for Beatrice, man. I said, what are you doing? This girl just ruining Beatrice. Just ruined her. Wrecked Beatrice. Wrecked her. Totally wrecked her. I'm not even going to ask you. What about Josh Padley versus Belmedi for the European title? Anyone know? No one knows. Let's just go to the main event. Can Josh Kelly win the IBF 154-pound title against Bakram Martuzeliyev? Can he win it? I'm saying no. I'm saying no. Big up Al Booger. No one can do it better. Tell him again. Ulick says you could need a new bed and better pillow. You know, it's not that. I mean, I just like, I don't know what it is, man. You could be right, but I just not good. My sleep patterns are just terrible. Bruce says death starts in the legs. Wow, that's deep. But you know something? It makes sense. You know why it makes sense, what you said there? Because that's your base. It's your base. If you take the base out of any structure, any building, take the foundation away from it, what happens? You can't build a building from the roof. You build it from the bottom. So if you let them gone, the rest is going to go. It's going to follow. The basic maths. Yeah. Basic physics. That makes sense. Al Booger. Yes, leg strength is super important. Indeed. I've always had pretty strong legs, though. I've always had pretty strong legs. But the older you get, you know what I mean? Like you say, you got up the protein to make sure you're doing like Leon said, the treadmill or the walk or the hill walk. And a lot of people don't walk. There's some people who probably, if you were to ask them how much steps they've done in half a year, probably less than the 10,000 you're supposed to do daily. Just don't walk. Yeah, I mean, well. Fight Fan Live. He's got Martuzeliyev stopping Josh. And he's got Teofimo beating Shakur in an upset. Remember I said that? Yeah. I've got it there. I've got you quoted now. You know what I mean? That's interesting. Daniel says the man was looking in Josh Kelly's soul. Josh got a little shook in it. Josh got a little shook. He just tried to brave face it, but that look there weren't easy, bro. I mean, I look at it. Oh boy, he looks like he wants to do some damage, bro. He's not coming over here to play. He's not coming over here to see the sights and scenery. No, he's not. No interest at all. He's coming over here, you know what I mean, to do damage. And if he performs anything like what he did against Tim Zuri, it's trouble. I think Josh Kelly's going to start well, though. I think he's going to start well, but he's not going to be able to keep it for going for the whole 12. He's going to, he's going to get cut. He's got paper-like skin. Probably going to get cut. Probably just going to get disheartened. It's going to get hurt to the body. But we'll see. Nobody giving Josh a chance? Yeah, man. Brewer! Where the stragglers at? Where my hangers at? Where my Willie Peps at? My Sanders Sandlers at? Yeah, the freestyle bars. Big up, Brewer. Big up, Brewer. Ulix, it's a toss-up for me. Josh may be slick to stay away from the power. And I don't know when last time the champ has fought. Was it Tim? The inactivity could hurt him. Let's have a look at that. Woo, that's a long time ago. That's a long time ago, bro. That's 13 months. 13 months out of the ring. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Could be onto something here, boys and girls. We could be onto something here. That inactivity is not good. It's not good. That's not good. All right, Josh won in the. Then again, Josh ain't really. He had a 1-round win for the whole of last year. He ain't exactly been active. And the time I seen him fight before that, to me, Ishmael Davis should have got a draw. Ishmael Davis should have got a draw out of that fight at Wembley. He should have got a draw. Was that the AJ card? Yeah, I'm sure it was. Yeah, it was, isn't it? Yeah, it was. Flipping hell, man. Dubois shook up the room that day. Daniel Dubois went boom, 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 shake the room. Wow. He shook the room, bro. Nah, see that his inactivity is leveled out by Josh's. They're both very inactive. Ulix, it's a toss-up for me. Josh may be too slick. Yeah. The inactivity, Ulix, goes both ways. Fight fan, he says, yeah, legs are essential. I panic when I see people with swollen ankles, cankles, or have the mad big squiggly veins popping from their legs and calves. Yeah. Got to keep moving, man. Got to keep moving. Hans, he says, Josh got shook. I got shook. Yeah, the stare is scary, man. Josh was shook. Same way he was shook looking at Eddie. during the Avanesian face-off at the weigh-in. I remember them Russians don't ramp. Yeah. And he folded against Avanesian, folded him up, bro. Avanesian folded him up. Broke him up. And he started well in that fight. He started well. But Avanesian kept his shape, bro. Is he still with Adam Booth? Man, Adam Booth can't train my guy to beat no Russian. I don't think he can. All right, Daniel, he's got T.O. beating Shakur too. He said he's never liked any of the talk from Shakur. He sounds unsure of himself and why he's doing this. Also, the talk of stepping back down to 135 sounds like damage control. Why is he going to step down? You sure he's why would he go back down to 135? I mean, he's nearly 30 now. Al Booger, do you think there's any chance Bakram and Boots can fight if the Virgil thing falls through? Man, we've got to see if Bakram gets through. Josh, everyone's writing Josh off. Are we just writing Josh off? Daniel says Kelly game plan is to spoil. I've just never been sold on him. He took the whole vibe out of Wembley Stadium with his boring performance. I tell you what, I don't like watching him. I've tried to avoid saying it because it might look like but I don't like watching him fight. I don't. Even when he beat Troy Williamson, I was thinking, I wouldn't have scored the fight to him. I get you, fair enough. I just don't like his boxing style. Just don't like it. Brewer says, take us back to the Manor Beach. Who was the local pro around your area? Well, we had Mark Prince, world title contender at 175. We had Roy Gums, former Commonwealth champion. Recently, we've got TKV, British heavyweight champion. Vidal Riley, British cruiserweight champion. Got guys like Cham Juf. No, Cham is Brixton though. Cham is Brixton, but yeah, he had a lot of people up in Tottenham. Who else? We had a few pros from out of here. Everard Greenpond Williams. He's from Wood Green. He was pretty good. There's been a few. There's quite a few. My brethren Alex Sterling, he passed away long time ago. His dad is Bunny Sterling, former British champion. I see John Beckles, former ABA champion. I still see John quite a lot. Daniel, I just see this man running through Josh like a hot knife through butter. Yeah, Zoo got beat bad, man. I don't think Josh is as tough as Zoo either. You know what I mean? And the Sunderland crowd, or the Newcastle crowd, I don't think they can save him. Fight Fan Live says, yeah, he's still with Adam, and all the Booth fighters have engine issues. Look through the list. Hey, Groves, Josh, Adelaide. List goes on. Yeah. You're definitely going to need an engine against this guy here. Yeah, I've got Shakur as well, Al. Making a statement and surprising a lot of people, says Al Booger. Yeah, hey, listen, I'm thinking like you. I'm kind of writing Josh off. But they're saying if Josh beats Matazaliev, he's gonna fight Boots. So Brewer, he says big respect to Danny Wright, aka Sarge, but he's got that well wrong. No one beating Shakur. He's too nice. Boy, I didn't think Tio could beat Lomachenko, but he did. Ulix, he thinks Bakram is made for Boots as long as Boots punches do something to him. As Boots, okay. Yed. Frank's confirmed he's got no involvement. Crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Why are they letting so what is it? It's just a why are the zone leasing out fights to Netflix? Why are they doing that then? Yeah, R.I.P. Kian. R.I.P. Kian. Man, never put down the knife and all the stupidness. 100%. Put down the knives, bro. Stay out of that crap there, bro. Stay out of that crap. I don't care if they sound preachy. Put down. Don't waste your life walking around with knife and crew and shit. Waste the life, bro. Waste of your life. Waste of your life. It might not be popular and cool, but it's not supposed to be popular and cool. It's called survival. It's called survival. It's called calling you to account as a young person. Yeah? Because when you're young, you don't think it's going to end. But you start walk around with that shit. And I know, and a lot of people know, because we're all from the ends. We know, listen, put that shit down, bro. Put that shit down. You end up using the knife over some stupid crap that when you're thinking, well, how have I ended up in the cell, about to end up in court and end up losing your liberty for years? Knife crime. Dumb crap. Dumb crap. Coppin, Booth don't believe in 5-mile runs, I believe. Yeah, Booth was with all that modern day crap. Yeah, see, the thing is, right? It's a fine line, isn't it? There's boxers saying they don't agree with the long runs, and with Terence Crawford, you can't argue. He's never been beaten, right? But when Mike Tyson got floored by Greg Page in sparring and he was still unbeaten, he stopped running. He stopped running. He went into that sparring session with Aaron, is it Snowwell? Right? Page dropped him with that 1-2. And Mike's looking at Aaron and he just told Mike, get up. Because Mike weren't trained. He said, get up. You got dropped, get up. And Mike was on the slippery slope then. That's when Mike started the slippery slope. And the Buster Douglas came a couple of wins later. Yeah. Hans, he said, Zoo was stupidly brave and no head movement in that fight. Josh will not be so naive, but it's only a matter of time. Josh is going to be on the move, bro. Josh Kelly, he's going to be Gene Kelly. That man's going to be tapping that around that ring, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. I call him Gene Kelly. Cop 09. Any chance TL could be too big, too strong? Hey, it's going to be a tough fight. Daniel says T.O. being underestimated. But you got to look at some of T.O.'s recent form, bro. You know what I mean? Did that Jermaine guy beat him? It might be a controversial decision. It could be. I'm not writing that off. Jermaine Ortiz. That was. Hey, I thought he beat T.O. At base the kid, he says, "Where are you guys seeing Kelly and Montevideo? Seeing what the stare down? Haven't you seen the stare down yet? It should be on Twitter, man. I saw it on Twitter." Cop in '09, he says, I guess those fighters don't have exclusive deals with the zone, which means the zone can do nothing. And that's presuming they care, of course, which based on the evidence they don't. Well, you mean they got 10 million for the AJ fight. I'm assuming a similar deal will be done with the Fury fight. They're prepared to see, because off the back of that documentary he did, which was quite popular apparently, they know they're going to get huge viewership and they're prepared to pay for it. That's a huge streaming site, man. It makes like the numbers they get compared to the zone. Even Paramount, they squash the zone. The zone is really fringe. Yeah, Bay, sorry. He said, yeah, just seen it. Kelly got shook real quick. Yeah, he was shook. He was shook. He was shook. He was shook. Ulix, he said that he thought Ortiz and Martins was. I tell you what, Sandor Martin dropped him and outclassed him. That was a bad decision. Sandor got done bad, pretty bad, you know. Sandor Martin got done bad a few times in his career, bro. That can't be denied. Sandor beat Tio. Sandor beat T. I don't care what nobody wants to say. Sandor beat Tio. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to say because Sandor did it that Shakur can do it. Sandor underrated, bro. I don't care what no one says. Sandor is underrated. Very underrated. Very underrated. So I'm not going to use that as a gauge. Did Sandor beat Puello? What about Gary Antoine? They were all close fights, isn't it? Sandor got done pretty bad. I bet Sandor's probably retired. Probably retired. No, Puello, that's it. It was Puello. It was definitely a P. I saw it in the PVC. He beat Puello. Didn't get the decision. He beat Puello. Exitored. He said, just to be clear, Ring are footing the bill for the Fury show. It's their show. Frank Warren will still collect his promoter fee, but without having to do any work. They're probably good. You probably see Frank at the presser. They're going to want some promoter there. Now, I'm sure Eddie didn't get a promoter's fee for the Joshua fight, but he made sure he was there to promote the brand, the Matchroom and the DAZN brand. Okay, Exitoid, he says the plan is for Fury and Wardley to get fights in April and for both of them to fight later in the year at Wembley. On what platform? Are you saying on DAZN or on Netflix? Probably DAZN. There's no way DAZN is just going to outsource everything to Netflix. Fight fan says Sandor dropped TO twice. Yeah, one was official and the other one wasn't scored. Yeah, you're right. He beat him. He beat him at Southway. He beat him, bro. He beat him. And I told everybody he was going to beat Mikey Garcia. He schooled Mikey. He schooled Mikey. Schooled him. They tried, he schooled Mikey and they made it a majority. They still scored it a majority. So they were looking to rob him. You know they were looking to rob him. And how no one investigated the 95-95 scorecard was ridiculous. See, that shows you how messed up the sport is, man. If you're not popular, and he was a Matchroom fighter, but Eddie never really got behind Sandor like that. He didn't. Matchroom never really got behind Sandor. So he got screwed over. And no one really fought his corner when he was getting screwed over. Should have been champion. No, the TO fight wasn't. No, I've got boxer. I put the boxer. That weren't for that was for the international belt. But he still beat TO. He beat TO. And he beat Puello. Messed up. Sandor, a damn good fighter, bro. Sandor, a damn good fighter. Okay, you're saying it will be on DAZN. Okay. DBC, heavyweight boxing, he thinks Fury will dance around the white lion. Yeah, he'll beat Makmhudov. He'll beat Makmhudov. Because Makmhudov, like, if I tell you what though, if Makmhudov brought some of his amateur style into the pro game, where he was moving around the ring, hitting and moving, switching angles, he'd give Tyson all types of issues. I don't know why they changed his style like that. They try, but then again, it's marketing and yeah, we'll turn you into some heavy, in some power punching. No, box. If he was boxing, he would have been more successful than what he has been in the pro so far. If he was boxing and moving. But maybe he had an injury and they had to make adjustments to what he done. But if you watch him in the amateurs, right? Or I think he was in the World Series of Boxing. Some of the, like, he was really good when he was moving. I said, that's not the, is that the same? Yeah, it's the same guy. Moving and hitting, moving and hitting, moving and hitting, and looking pretty good doing it. Ulix says, if DAZN are giving all their fighters to Netflix, how does Ultimate Tier meant to work? You tell me. You tell me. You tell me why I'm not getting to see Tyson versus Makmhudov. Why didn't I get to see AJ against anyone he's fighting? Even Jake Paul. Lucky it's Jake Paul, it wasn't that big a deal to me. Yeah? Why didn't I get to see Katie Taylor in her last two fights? If they're exclusive to DAZN. Hans, he said he's good, but I've watched more exciting paint drying competition than Sandor Martin fights. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. He's definitely not boring. If he throws punches, he throws his punches correctly. I disagree with that. He wasn't just running around the ring. He's boxing. He's boxing. He's boxing. Got to have plates for the boxers. As long as you're not like, he doesn't look for clinches. He uses movement and his jab, and he's good at it. He's not boring. He weren't boring. Not a boring fighter. I enjoyed watching him fight. Anyway, the Mikey Garcia performance was brilliant, man. He boxed beautifully in that fight. Like Mikey didn't catch on to the way, like he kept using that escape route to his right from that southpaw stuff. Mikey just didn't know how to cut the ring up, and he just didn't make the adjustments at all. And my man schooled him. He schooled him in there. That was Mikey's last fight. You know, you know something, right? That was only Mikey's second defeat. You know, Mikey had 40 wins, only 2 losses. The only other loss was to Errol Spence. Wow. Copen 09, in searching for the Kelly face-off, I saw that Kelly and Liam Smith had a face-off a while back. Why did that fight not happen? Don't remember it being on the table. I'm not sure, you know. I'm not sure. Copen 09, he answers Ulix and says, I guess the simple answer is DAZN don't have any fighters, so it's not theirs to give away. Exitord said Tyson Fury has no official contract with DAZN. He's a free agent, but he's very loyal to Frank. So he will always have him involved as his promoter. AJ definitely has a contract with DAZN. And he ain't got a normal contract. His contract, right, allows him equity into the company of some kind as an ambassador. Him and Golovkin, they got all different kind of clauses in their contract, innit? Boxing's just going crazy now, man. How many undisputed fights do you reckon we'll see by the end of the year in any of the weight classes? Do you think we will see more than 2 or 3 undisputed champions crowned by the end of the year? Apart from Inoue, right? He'll probably get stripped of a strap somewhere else. But outside of Inoue, right, at 122, tell me where you see the potential undisputed fights. Tell me where you see them, or tell me if you think there'd be more than 2 or 3 or less. Ewick says maybe 2 or 3 in the women's. Yeah. I tell you you see the women's. Let me tell you where there won't be no undisputed contest. Is at 135, right? Because you think I ain't noticed that Caroline and Stephanie Hahn and who's the other girl? Terry Harper. I notice you're ducking the Turhan problem. You're ducking. None of you want that smoke. None of them girls want that fight. Exitordi says, yes, AJ is 100% contracted to the zone. He got permission, though, from the zone to fight on Netflix. Fury can fight where he wants. Wow. That's deep. See, but Frank you see, you're right. Frank can't officially promote because he's got a contract with the zone. So he can't be no official promoter for that. Oh, but the fight needs a promoter, isn't it? The card is going to need a promoter. Who's the promoter going to be? Not Jake Paul. It's Turkey, isn't it? It's Ring. Forgot, it's Turkey. It's Turkey. It's Turkey. So what? Is that Dana? Is that going to be Dana? Because Turkey ain't a promoter, right? The Ring, as far as I know, I don't think you're allowed to be a magazine and a promoter. So they can't promote it. They can put up the belt, but they can't promote it. I don't think Turkey is licensed as a promoter. Is Dana going to promote this fight? Is it Zufa? Wow. It could be Dana. Jim, are you saying no undisputed fights? I think Jim is saying no. I can see that happening. That's a problem for me, man. That's a problem. That's a problem. I mean, we need Usyk to fight Wardley, really, isn't it? You know what I mean? Can't just give up the belt Usyk like that, man. What about Cruiser? Do you think Zufa can get Jai? He's got the Michaelian fight. So after that, it's just Ramirez. Do you think they can nail that? I think Golden Boy have to go for it. Because it's just one fight to be undisputed. If Jai gets through Michaelian or Michaelian gets through Jai, either or either, you would think that Golden Boy put Ramirez into that fight over Benavidez. What's better? As a boxing fan, wouldn't you rather see Zerdo fight for undisputed than fight Benavidez? I'd much rather him fight for undisputed. Oh, big Mexican showdown. Fuck the Mexican showdown, bro. I'm sure even the Mexican fans would rather see their guy fight for undisputed. Let Benavidez clean up at 175. Go clean up at 175, bro. Go test yourself against Beterbiev and Bivol. You just moved up to the weight class just the other day. Ain't unified a goddamn strap or nothing. Come on, man. Hans, he says, getting at least unified titles to drop in exchange for the ring belt is the only way that Zuffa get any credibility. So if they know what they're doing, it will come. Daniel, AJ has shares in the zones. Yes, he does. He does. Yep, yes, shares. And I think he has some kind of shares or equity in Matchroom as well. Mike Henry, the sanctioning bodies may fight hard to stop undisputed fights as they don't want to walk consolidated champions into the hands of the Ring and Zuffa. Good point. Danny said significant shares too. Yeah. Eddie, wait. Editor, you're saying Eddie's promoting the Tyson Fury fight. That's wild, bro. That's wild. He can't. He's exclusive to DAZN. He can't. Eddie can't promote that Netflix card. Eddie can't do that. Eddie can't do it. Eddie can't touch that. Coppin 09 said, I'm sure Warren can promote on Netflix DAZN deal or not. No. No. The Jake Paul fight, Jake Paul promoted that. The Jake Paul AJ fight was promoted by Jake. They can't touch that. Exitorly said, well, Eddie isn't the promoter. He's just providing the logistics for it. Ring are the promoters. Okay. At Jim, he says 1 or 2 undisputed fights in 2026. That's terrible. There's 17 weight classes. And none of us can even see. You know what I mean? 4, at least 4. Nope, can't see it, Beats. That's what everyone's saying. Can't see it. That's terrible. It's not a proper sport, bro. That's terrible. It makes me like, you see now, Zuffa has started signing up from the same gene pool as Eddie, Frank, and Oscar. It makes me like skeptical of the move now, because rather than we have initiatives to say the promoters are going to work together, we're going to get more unified and undisputed fighters, they're splitting the gene pool even more now. They're going to be splitting it even more, potentially. Ulix, he says, Oscar De La Hoya don't want Zerto or Ortiz fighting the fights that peoples want to see. Yeah, it's a real shame. Real shame. I don't even care about the Ortiz fight no more, because it's not even for a belt. So Ortiz and Oscar and Meridian, they can say, all right, well, I mean, if that makes you feel better, I don't care about that fight. I don't really care. People, you know what they're thinking? Oh, we're really heartbroken. I'm not heartbroken that fight ain't happening. If Virgil is worth what you're worth, and you say you want 10 million, let's see if Virgil get 10 million for his next fight then. What, you think Errol Spence is going to get him 10 million? That's his dream fight. Errol Spence is his dream fight. You think Errol Spence right now in 2026 gets anybody a 10 million per? Listen, Errol Spence got washed in 2023. Was it 2023 when he lost? That's ages back, bruh. Old news. You're old news. Errol Spence ain't worth 10 million purse for anybody fighting him now. Where was the Crawford fight? Yeah, 2023. fought for 2 years, and you think that Errol's going to get you a $10 million purse? Nah, bruh. Errol Spence ain't getting no Virgil Ortiz no $10 million purse, bruh. I'm sorry. It's not happening. It's not happening. For one, DAZN vetoed the fight. They said that was unacceptable. They were not going to accept that fight, all right? PBC are not going to pay you $10 million, Virgil. DAZN ain't paying for it. Netflix don't want it. Maybe you can go on Paramount and get some money from it. You're probably going to have to leave the DAZN platform. And maybe if Dana and Turkey want to establish the thing, the platform, they might, I don't know, maybe in the early days they might overpay people to get them over. Exitoid said Tyson is contracted to DAZN because he's not contracted to Queensbury. They have a word of mouth deal. Now you've put me on game. You know what's probably happened? Tyson's contract with Top Rank has probably expired now, right? Because I know that there was said to be a clause that unless his fights were in Britain or whatever, or no, when he was fighting in Britain, they didn't count as fights on his contract. But his contract's probably expired. The time limit is probably expired. Yeah. No, that's not totally true about the word of mouth deal. He was contracted to Top Rank. He was definitely contracted to Top Rank. At Ulix, only shake hands the traveler's way. Laughing out loud. Yeah, they were contracted to DAZN, man. The man can't promote on that platform. The bigger 2026 question, says Copend, is will Vlad finally stop teasing a comeback with his sparring videos or attempt the record? Man, Vlad get punch up, man. I mean, man, punch up Vlad right there. I mean, he was supposed to rematch AJ. The clause he had it in the contract, and he didn't take the rematch. He didn't take it. He didn't fancy the smoke. Eddie has spoken about this on TikTok in the last hours. He said the ring show had nothing to do with him in terms of promoting it, but he's spoken with Tyson and is fine with it. Okay. Dennis, he says, my man, I'm glad I checked. Go Beats. Big up Dennis. Derek Clark, is Fury still banned from the US? Was he banned in the US? I don't think he was banned. Hans, he says, what Zuffa is doing is not a bad thing. If they were to pay their fighters well long term, which they won't. I always thought DAZN should have done the same when they got the Ring magazine from Turkey. Yeah, I think they're on Top Rank Classics or something, Copend, and like They've been on Roby and them smart channels, Facebook. Top Rank are just like roach infested right now. Not a good look. That's where Zayas and Barrow are fighting. I think on Top Rank Classics or something. God knows how you get that. Nah, it's in the UK, Ulitz. Fury Makmhudov is in the UK. It's in the UK. Yep, hit the like button, people. Hit the like. Yeah, I think his deal with Top Rank has run out, Exitor. I think he's run out. Telling you, man. These DAZN subscription deals just looking like a bit of a con, man. I'm not gonna lie. Looking like a bit of a con. Troy Williamson, he says the EBU, they stripped him. He didn't vacate. Because Boxer activated the rematch clause, because he took Callum Simpson's belts, didn't he? They delayed his chance of being a world champion. A rematch nobody wants to see. No belts on the line, another beatdown. So what about the British and Commonwealth? What happens to them titles? He's still got them. Why do you have to go through with the rematch anyway? If you've got a world title fight, you can just leave the belts vacant and let Callum fight for them. Surely. Why did Callum Simpson get a rematch clause? Who's Callum Simpson? Like, why did Eddie allow that? I mean, Eddie, you were negotiating for the guy. Why did you allow a flipping rematch clause? Troy battered Callum, man. And you know what it is? I just read the comment section. The EBU don't allow rematch clauses, so that's why they've done him in. He's lost the belt because of that flipping rematch clause. But that's Troy's fault. That's Troy's fault. They should have told Eddie, yo, get the rematch clause out there, or I'm not taking the fight. You know why? You know why this is happening as well. It's Tyson like the money in it, and I can't blame him. This is where Tyson was getting the bag, bro. Copin 09, it said it saves Frank money, not having the fight, so he's happy. Daniel says Fury does run his mouth a bit, but he has his moments where he's a smart businessman. He didn't go around screaming free agency or anything. Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's true. A lot of them fighters can't help themselves. They start shouting off before they've got anything concrete in place. Yeah. Copin 09. He said, I saw that Johnny Fisher is implying that both promoters are holding up his British title shot as both have agreed to Matchroom promoting it. Well, what it is Boxer have a card on the same date, and they don't want the date to clash with one of their fighters fighting on another platform. So TKB misses out on the payday. Ulix is as frank as so many heavyweights, but they ain't fighting. They need to get Lawrence Okoli in a proper fight. That's what they need. They need to get Okoli fighting somebody decent, man. When's the last time Okoli had a decent fight? Fury versus Makmhudov, bro. Oh, here's Turkey. Turkey going in there. This is the second fight between Netflix and the ring. It is only the beginning. Wait for the big surprise soon. See, people are complaining. Let me put my glasses on. People are complaining, Turkey. They're not happy. They're not happy, Turk. They're replying to Turkey. I put my specs on. Somebody says, so why have we had to pay for Ultimate DAZN subscription that was heavily sold? There's no more ring pay-per-views. That's right. And then you're shipping off the work to Netflix. Yeah, you got a good point. No more ring pay-per-views, ring content heavily marketed on DAZN to entice fans to pay a year's worth of subscription without knowing what the pay-per-views were. What a joke. Just fleecing boxing fans. Can't lie. Let me clip what you said there, bro. Let me clip what you said there. Let me clip what you said. Can't lie. I couldn't have worded it any better. A total stitch-up job. Turkey, me old son. Stitch-up job. That's what it is. It's a stitch-up. Like the fat boys. Brr, stick 'em. Ha, ha, ha. Stick 'em. That's a stick-up job if I've ever seen one. Good point. That's a fair point. Someone said, what's the odds? Paramount by Netflix. Netflix by DAZN. The whole lot by Matchroom. The Ring magazine becomes the main belt. I don't know about all that. That's a bit confusing. I'll have to look at that comment slowly. People are asking Turkey to make Virgil versus Boots on Netflix. Nah, man. Come on, man. It just... That they're asking, is Turkey going to screw DAZN and put more stuff on Netflix than there? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah. See, what it looks like they're doing is they're saying, okay, no more pay-per-view on Netflix. They'll just put the fights they were going to put on pay-per-view on. No pay-per-view on DAZN. No pay-per-view on DAZN. But what they're doing now is they're putting the fights that they would put on pay-per-view on Netflix. Because Tyson Fury's fight, they don't want to pay for that. So they put it on Netflix where the higher subscription is. And they're not worried about the pay-per-view revenue. Because they're getting more ad revenue than DAZN. It's dirty, man. It's a dirty game, bro. I don't like getting played like this, bro. See, they're even asking AJ versus Fury on Netflix after this? Question mark. Yeah. Someone just said they shelled out $500 for DAZN Ultimate. Oh boy, we're getting played, bro. Hey. all good. It's all right. Hey, listen. If you're mugs like me, then you fall for it, innit? You fall for it. If you're a mug like me, Americans ain't falling for it, bro. I get it. See, Americans ain't falling. They just say, nah, screw that the zone crap, bro. $500, yeah. It's just crazy right now. Yeah, CBS was a Coley's last decent opponent, Ulix. Exetor said, a Coley just fought. You called that a fight? That's not a fight, bruh. Hey, it's Tete. Ebenezer Tete. Dude, there's some of you in the chat who could have put up a better fight. I'm confident there's people in the chat who would have put up a better fight than what Ebenezer Tete did. Oh, Exeter, he said, if you look at Talk Sport, it's nothing to do with me. Brent Warren reveals. Crazy, man. Yeah, Fight Fan, he paid $220 for the alternate. I think I paid more than that. How come you paid so little? I paid about £20 more. Felice. It's a Felice job, bro. Coppin, he said he's heard Netflix are going to make a bid to enter football for the first time with Champions League TV rights or Premiership League rights. So Netflix is the obvious place to go, it seems. The Zone can't do the numbers. The Zone don't even have the Premiership, man. Flipping hell. And now it looks like, they ain't going to get the top fights. A Coley's dream fight was in Nigeria. A Coley's dream fight is to scam money from people. That's his dream fight. To supplement his Dubai lifestyle. That's all it is. Right. Exeter. I wonder what the big surprise is. Maybe Usyk versus Ruiz. Oh my gosh. This boxing team's starting to get on my nerves, man. Fight Fan Live. He says a Coley 419. Boy. Coley's just long. Yeah, his dream fight is to scam people, Lawrence. You know what I mean? How did everyone not, like, seriously? You go all the way to where? Was it Nigeria? To fight Tete? Stop it, bro. Stop it. Stop it now. Stop it. It's a joke. Absolute joke. You're supposed to be billed as a two-time world champion. If they announced that Moses Atoma was fighting Tete, we'd be ripping Moses apart right now. Lawrence is in his 30s now. You've got no business fighting Ebenezer Tete. None. None at all. None at all. No business at all. Yeah, man. What's the surprise, Turkey? What's the surprise? Yuli says boxing is a bloody joke if Ruiz versus Usyk. I mean, the last time we saw Andy, let's face it, Jarrell Miller won the fight. He just didn't get the decision, right? He just didn't get the decision. Andy is so inactive. Andy's had how much? I could he beat Ortiz, Drew Miller, and there was the Areola fight since AJ took back the titles, and that was 2020. He's had 3 fights since in 5 years. 3 fights. It's 2026 now, so it's, well, yeah, going on 5 years and a bit. And he gets the challenge for the unified titles. Are we still going to give Usyk a pass? Because you know, there's a lot of people scared to speak out because everyone's going to come down on him. Oh well, it's Usyk. He can do what he wants and all that fucking gay shit. Usyk can do what he wants, bro. He's entitled. He deserves it. What, to fight Andy Ruiz for the unified titles? Well, while Ajit Cabello can't get a shot. Are we being serious now? What, Fabio Wardley don't deserve it before Andy Ruiz or Ajit Cabello? I'd even accept Joseph Parker coming off a loss before that. I'd accept Zhang coming off a loss before Andy Ruiz. I'd accept the AJ fight, even a Fury fight before Andy Ruiz. I can think of at least 10 heavyweights who I'd rather see Usyk fight other than Andy Ruiz. I don't want to see that fight right now. I don't want to see it. I've got absolutely no interest in that fight at all. Zero. Hey, if they're going to put it on Netflix, it's not part of my subscription. We ain't getting it anyway. So they can go make what fight they want, innit? Anthony says Usyk is ducking Wardley. He should be fighting Wardley or Cabello. I'd say Cabello before Wardley, but one of them should be getting a crack. Andy Ruiz. I don't know about the Andy Ruiz thing, man. I don't know. Don't know. Is Andy ranked? Is Andy ranked in the? Let me have a look. Where's Andy ranked? Let me get. Where's the spec shavers? Let's have a look. All right. I can't see him in the top 6 anywhere. Can't see him in the top 8 in none of the sanctioning bodies. And he's not a top 10 nowhere. And neither should he be. Andy Ruiz is not in the top 15 in none of the sanctioning bodies. Not one of them. So what? All the sympathizers, the Usyk sympathizers, this is all right, yeah? This is all right. I'll tell you what, man. I'm going to turn a new leaf. From now, I don't support no fighter. I just watch the boxing now. I don't support none of them. I don't support none of them. From now, I don't support none. I don't support none. Because I'm a Usyk supporter, but there's people who think that it's perfectly okay. That like he avoided Joseph Parker, then Caballero, and Wardley. That's free. Is that free, man? Were all three of them mandated? I don't think Parker actually got the mandate. To me. That's just, I don't know. No, not in the top 15. Out in none of the 15. In none of the 4 sanctioning bodies. No. That's crazy. I'd rather see Dubois get another shot. He just got knocked the F out. Exit. He says Turkey has his favourites and other boxers he don't want anything to do with. He don't want to deal with Dubois because he don't like Stan. I don't think Turkey's got a beef with Stan. Copin 09, he says Turkey killed boxing with his Tom and Jerry rubbish. Yeah, that was still all that Tom and Jerry crap. Exit says Frank said that Wardley, Shane, Akoli, Adelaide, and a few other heavies will roll out in April. Yeah, they're saying Dubois could fight Zhang. Okay, Adelaide versus Dillian looks locked in. Okay. So this is where you have issues with your comment base, right? You're saying because the mandatories didn't call them, I mean the sanctioning body didn't call them mandatories, that they're any less significant. Caballero is coming off 3 stoppage wins against highly respected contenders. So what I'm supposed to rely on the sanctioning bodies to call it before I say it's unjust? He's the interim champion. So if the interim isn't the mandatory, what the fuck is he then? What, you have to call the interim? They haven't put him as the number 1 contender. He's the interim champion. He's the interim. Isn't that the mandatory? Doesn't have to be called, bruh. It don't have to be called. Joseph Parker. He was the interim before he fought Fabio Wardley. They were the interim champions, bruh. So I don't care about the technicality on it. I don't care about the technicality. They were the top contenders. Whether the sanctioning body called them or not. Listen, the sanctioning body, they're full of crap, bro. They're full of crap. And I said it in the video the other day. They need to be brought in line. There needs to be a regulatory body that makes them enforce the mandatory quicker than what they do. They shouldn't be able to enforce the mandatory when they want. They should have a time period that, okay, you're put into the interim or the mandatory, and they enforce it. Joseph Parker's online making songs. Give me a shot, please. Adric Caballero, he's no nearer a title shot. So by what you're saying, it's okay for Andy Ruiz to jump the queue over Adric Caballero. These guys should stop paying the sanctioning fees, like Terence Crawford was saying. Stop paying the sanctioning fees, and this bullshit will stop. Stop paying them. Stop paying the money, bruh. They're taking liberties. Don't give them no money. They don't deserve the money. They don't deserve the money. Dubois versus Zhang isn't locked in. It's not locked in. Dubois versus Zhang is not locked in. Exit. Yeah, Base, he dropped the belt to Wardley rather than fight him. He dropped the belt. Stop giving him a pass because he's a great. Yeah, all right, you're a great fighter. All right, done. Stop giving him a pass. As soon as they started getting on AJ's back when the Fury fight collapsed, oh, you're not going to fight Usyk. He fought him straight away. He signed it up straight away. Eddie didn't want AJ to take that fight, but AJ took the fight. Come on, bro. Let's stop giving him a pass, bro. Stop giving Usyk a pass. Stop giving him a pass. Let's stop giving Usyk a pass. Andy Ruiz. So, okay. Andy Ruiz not ranked in none of the sanctioning bodies. That's okay. Not ranked in none of the sanctioning bodies getting a shot. I don't think so, bro. Base. Come on, Base. No, listen, the Chisora Wilder fight, I don't know. Listen, people keep talking about it, but as far as Frank's concerned, Chisora's still got a contract with Queensbury. So I don't know where that's going. There's a lot of, see, the problem with media today, there's too much media outlets, and they're like announcing all these fights, but we don't know what's happening from what's not. See, back in the day, when it was just the magazines would get their information from either Frank Warren himself or someone very high up at the food chain in the sanctioning body, and we'd know if the fight was happening, right? The only way it would get cancelled if someone got injured. But these days, the promoter comes, no, there's no truth in that rumor, because the rumors are just like from people who are trying to get hits, views, and notoriety to their social media platforms. Ridiculous. I mean, what was Derek doing with that video with Wilder? What's going on? Why are you making that video and your promoter or the promoter is saying he's still got a contract with you? Come on now. Base, he says Ulix, he dropped the belt, but the mandatory wasn't called. And he'd rather drop the belt than hold up the division. No issue with that. He's still, but Base, you're all over the place, bro. Base. You're all over the place. You're all over the place. He's the lineal chip, but forget the belt space, yeah? He's the lineal champion. He's the lineal champion. They're supposed to fight the top contenders. Yeah? He fights once a year now, at the most. He fought once last year. There isn't time to fight Andy Ruiz. If it was back in the day when the champions were fighting 4 or 5 times a year, then okay, you can fight Andy Ruiz. Then later in the year, we're going to see Caballero. We're going to see Ward. No, that's not going to happen. He's going to fight once this year, the most. He's holding it up now. Hey, you can debate. What did you say? One sec. There's a link there. If I misquoted you, I'm not saying you did say it. I'm saying, are you saying certain things? I'm saying, are you saying that it's okay? But there's a link there. If it will let me post it. All right. What's it doing? All right, this is a referral link. Why is it giving me a referral link? Why isn't it giving me a link to thing? All right, there's base.
Hey. Yo, what's going on, Beats?
Yeah, all right. Did I misquote you?
Yeah, you did on something when you said earlier about am I saying that Andy Ruiz deserves the shot over Wardley or over Caballero and them? So I didn't say that. I wasn't advocating for Andy Ruiz to get the shot. What I was basically saying in the chat is ultimately, when it comes down to it, if we talk about who's the contender or who's supposed to get the shot, that's up for, as you said, that's up for the sanctioning bodies to deal with. If they're not doing their job and Usyk is allowed to manipulate that, so to speak, that's not on him. Like, that's on them. So if they're not calling for him to fight these people, he doesn't have to fight them as a voluntary, whether they're number one in the divisions or they're number one in the rankings or not. And the interim doesn't automatically make you the mandatory, as the whole Dillian White situation showed with the WBC several years ago.
All right. So, right, let me land this plane. So, if AJ said, I'm going to discard the mandatory belt that allowed Usyk the shot, he wouldn't have been unified champion. He wouldn't have got his step up on the ladder. If
Correct.
Turkey didn't step in and make the undisputed fight with Fury, he won't be undisputed champion right now because Frank couldn't get it over the line. So we've never been able to rely on the sanctioning bodies, right, to do the right thing. AJ did the right thing, right? Turkey did make the fight possible, right? So now it's Usyk's turn to do the right thing and fight the contenders that we know are credible. Andy Ruiz, not ranked in the top 15 in none of the 4 sanctioning bodies, should not be getting a shot at the title.
I don't agree with the Andy Ruiz fight. I'm in agreement with you on that, but I understand this now from Usyk's point of view, where he's saying, and he wants to go to America and have a big fight in America. It's the one thing he hasn't done, and it's the one thing he kind of wants to do now. Yes, fighting once a year is not really a done deal, but of all the guys who should be allowed at least one fight of their choosing, I kind of feel like if anyone's gonna be allowed that, it should be him. I know it shouldn't be Andy Ruiz or such, but there's not very many American heavyweights. He wants to cross something off the bucket list. I would much rather, if he's gonna fight Andy Ruiz, drop the rest of the belts that need to be dealt with now, and then let everyone else go through, and then eventually everyone can try and do another undisputed run down the line. But clearly, what the play is probably going to be similar with Daniel and AJ is go drop a belt, make someone fight someone credible for it, then fight the winner of that to make them a bigger stock, which is pretty much what he said about Fabio Wardley in one of his last interviews. If Fabio Wardley has good fight and defends the belt, then I'll look at him as a new opponent. That's basically what he's saying. None of them ain't got marquee value. Now the only difference in that is Ajit Caballero actually does now. He's proved it in Germany. So I think Usyk and the team already said, that looks interesting to us now.
But here's the thing. Usyk said he's going to fight the winner out of Parker and Wardley and went back on his word. So
That's true. But he thought Joseph Parker was going to win the fight. He thought Joseph Parker. He said it himself. He said, if it was Parker, yes.
Your face. I didn't let me finish my point. Right?
Go ahead.
Word. Right? He said he was going to fight the winner, and he didn't. Then we was told this IPV, we're going going to put on this fight in America. Well, Wilder's talking about fighting Derek. He was on the phone with Derek. So when is this fight going to happen in America with this American opponent? That's not even on the cards. In that time, he should have been fighting Wood or Caballero. There's no excuses for him. You can't really give him a pass on this. He went back on his word and said they're going to get this fight in America. Well, when's that going to happen?
Well, the year's only just started, Beats. Like, we're in January.
Yeah.
There's nothing to say that. There's nothing to say man couldn't fight twice this year. He has fought twice in a calendar year within the last 3 years. So it is possible that he could have this American fight, then go fight someone else. Again, I'm not advocating for Andy Ruiz, but ultimately what I'm saying is that...
Sorry, go.
No, I'm just saying, ultimately what I'm saying is, while if no one is going to do their job, at least he hasn't held up every single belt and stopped everyone from being able to get their crap. Because if we think about it, look at Fabio, right? Fabio got upgraded to WBO. We ain't heard nothing about who he's actually going to fight next. There was the Chisora talks, but that seems to be out the window. He's probably looking for a fight in May at the end of the football year so that he can do it back at Portman Road again. So it's not like he's being super active with the belt either. Like, this is just what it is nowadays with all of them.
But like I said, we don't rely on the sanctioning bodies to do the right thing. We've needed Turkey's money, and we've needed champions like AJ who fights his contenders to allow the likes of Usyk to get in the position they are. And now Usyk is not reciprocating within the spirit of guys like AJ. Where him and Fury, they just do what they want. When we wanted the undisputed fight before that, Fury's fighting Ngannou and flipping Derek Chisora until the Turkey money came in. If we rely on people being inconsistent like Fury, and now Usyk's doing it, and the sanctioning bodies, we wouldn't get it done. We wouldn't get anything done.
Well, what we need to do right now is rebalance the pay structures, because clearly, man like Usyk, man like Fury, AJ, everyone who was on them Saudi cards made so much money. They're not going to fight for what the rest of it is generating. I think all of them are going. So there needs to be something now where all of that money goes away, and it forces these men to start fighting for the money they were fighting for previously.
What we
I'm not happy with it. But
no, what we need to do is start holding people like Usyk to their word. You don't say you're going to fight the winner and then go back on it, right? And I put the box rec up on, right? This man has fought once a year from 2018. He fought Chaz Witherspoon one fight that year. Derek Chisora, one fight that year. AJ, one fight that year. He fought one fight in the rematch, Joshua 2022. He fought one fight, Dubois 2023. 2 fights in 2024 and 1 in 2025. 1 fight a year. So you tell me the likelihood he's going to fight in America and then fight Caballero after that.
Well, I just said, you said, what was it, 2024? He fought twice? That's within the last 3 years, as I just said, right? So there's nothing to say that he won't do it.
2018.
Yes, since 2018 when he came up to heavyweight. When he was waiting for, and they were doing all the title politics, but in 2024 he fought twice.
No, the patterns tell you he's unlikely to fight twice a year. Unlikely. Since 2018, it's 1 fight a year. He's unlikely. That's what the patterns say. If we're going by his fight average, he fights once a year. And he's not holding himself to his word.
I agree with you about that. He did say he was going to fight the winner. But as I said, and as he said, he thought Joseph Parker would win. And then that fight's interesting. He didn't think the Wardley fight was interesting, so he gave up that belt and allowed Wardley to go and make it more interesting for him. I don't agree with it, but he'd rather do that than... Because remember, that mandatory wasn't called either. So he went back on his word. He go on.
He went back on his word.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. He did.
How do you just?
So say that again. You're breaking up. How do it?
or Wardley? Because he's supposed to fight Wardley. He didn't fight Parker. Let's not right. Whether Parker was mandated or not, he was in the interim position. He didn't fight Parker, and a lot of people were asking for that fight. He dropped the belt, but he didn't drop the belt. They fought, and then when Wardley won the fight, he got elevated, and then he didn't fight Wardley.
But Beats, so when you
That's
say
okay.
he didn't fight, no, but Beats, when you say he didn't fight Parker, that's not actually what happened. If you remember, he had just come off the Fury fight, right? And then Parker, because Frank didn't get him out active, didn't want to be waiting around. Therefore, he made the Wardley fight. He didn't have to make that fight. He could have waited because he was next in line. He would have got the shot. But he chose to take the Fabio Wardley fight. So that's a whole different story. You might because you can't say he delayed the fight. He just had fought Daniel Dubois in the summer.
So what did you want? So what did you want Joseph Parker to do? Stay inactive. You wanted Joseph
I'm not.
Parker
I didn't say that, Beats. I didn't say that. What I'm saying is Joseph Parker didn't get to fight because of Frank Warren.
we
He didn't.
expect the contenders to go fight other challengers like Joseph Parker did. He fought a bona fide contender in Wardley, right? As he's supposed to. Just like the champion is supposed to go fight the bona fide contenders who are ranked in the interim positions. And
Right, so Beats.
not holding up is part of the bargain in spirit of heavyweight competition. But with Joseph Parker can't stay active like that. He's got to fight.
I get that and Beats, but here's my thing, right? All right, so for you and as a boxing connoisseur, someone that knows the game, right? How long would you say is an accurate and adequate time for someone to have a fight and then come back to the next one? How long should they be off?
Give me in what example? Like what Joseph Parker or you?
No, like say okay, so say I have a fight today, right? When do you think is appropriate for me to then fight again, in your opinion?
It depends how taxing the fight was, or how easy it was, or what significance of the fight.
Okay, because here's what I'm basically alluding to, right? So in that moment, you had him fight Dubois in July, right? Chances are he probably would have been ready to fight again based on his schedule and what he's putting his body through, say December, January, February, potentially. So what would have been? So would that have been a huge detriment to Joseph Parker at that point to wait for an additional 8 weeks? Or do you think he needed that fight? And if so, again, as I said, was that not a failing on Frank to make sure to not get him a fight earlier in the year to make sure that he at least was fresh and didn't have the ring rust and all that stuff? Because he didn't fight from February up until whatever day it was.
Can't blame Frank Warren for that. Yeah, after he
What for not getting in fights? For not getting in stable fights? Of course you can.
You know what I'm saying? Let me say what I'm saying, right? After he fought Jang, right? He was supposed to fight Daniel Dubois, and Daniel avoided the fight with Parker for that title. So he got to fight Bacoli at short notice. That wasn't no.
Yep.
So he had to go take the Wardley fight. He needed a fight. He needed to stay active. You know what I mean? He needed to stay active.
But Beats, by your own admission, sorry, when you said before, by your own admission, it depends on how taxing the fight is and all of that stuff. It was a 2 round job. So why are you now fighting? You fought in February and you're then not fighting again until October, November. All right, I think you're breaking up because I can't hear you.
Blame for not.
All right, is that my? Can anyone? Can I think Beats has gone. Oh, Beats is breaking up. All right, well, I literally stopped taking the dog out to have this discussion. I'm gonna tune back into the chat. I'll come back if he comes back on the stream.
Sorry about that, people. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi issue. If you're there, base, if you got time, the link is there. I had to go on the laptop. I had to come off the PC for a little while. I don't know what's going on there. Base said Usyk said that Wardley was not an interesting fight for him. Let's not forget, Wardley essentially jumped the queue with the Parker fight. So now Usyk wants to earn. How did he jump the queue? He didn't jump the queue. Go back. You're making shit up now, bro. He didn't jump the queue. He didn't jump no queue. He didn't jump no queue. Exit. Yes, it's a weird sport. Lots of moving parts right now. Lots of underhand stuff from Turkey. At Endomedia, he says, I think a sustained barrage on Wardley while avoiding his right hand should dispatch him. He seems to gas out early against Parker, in my opinion. How did he jump? Tell me how he jumped the queue. Where was he ranked when he got the title shot? Where was he ranked? He was 8th in the W. Well, that's top 10, isn't it? That's top 10. That's top 10. Ruiz isn't in the top 15, bro. That's top 10. Yeah? That's top 10. That's top 10. You can't say he jumped the queue. You're allowed to fight top 10 contenders. Usyk ain't doing that. Exeter thinks Wardley would be a style nightmare for Usyk. I want to see the top fights. That's all. I want to see the top fights. You know what I mean? And he to me, he's not moving in the spirit of what we know the thorough heavyweight champions should be doing in terms of their obligations. You know what I mean? In the media, he says, I don't think Ruiz is shit, though, to be honest. He's too inactive. He's too, like, he's not, he hasn't done anything since the AJ win. Nothing. And that was, what was that, 7 years ago? It's not a matter if Caballero gets hit easy or not. He deserves a shot. He deserves a shot. And he don't complain at all. He doesn't complain. I haven't heard him complain once. He just gets on with it. Whether he gets hit or not, he's got the bodies. He's got the bodies, and he's earned the position. You can't say eighth is an unacceptable ranking. Yeah, you can't really say that. Jimmy, this is Usyk is obviously technically more skilled than Wardley, but Wardley is young, strong, unhinged, and unlike Dubois, he won't quit. I think Usyk wants a more traditional fighting style he can figure out. I don't know what his deal is. You know what I mean? I don't know what his deal is. Yeah, the Wi-Fi went out. You can't say like that is standard to fight once a year. So what? That's the problem then, isn't it? That is the problem. If you're going to fight once a year, that means you should fight the best every year, right? You can't have 3 belts and then, all right, I'm going to fight once a year, but I'm going to go out of the top 15 of all the sanctioning bodies to pick my opponent. And before you said, well, AJ fought Jake Paul. AJ don't have no belt, bro. Like Tyson Fury fighting on Netflix against Makmhudov. Makmhudov, I don't believe is ranked. He might have some ranking somewhere. Tyson Fury don't have a strap now. He don't have a strap. He's not holding nothing up. Base was trying to say that Usyk isn't holding anything up. He's the lineal champion. Can't say he's not holding anything up. Daniel says, you're saying all this, but Usyk is not fighting anyone. That's the facts. That's why he can't be considered a great as well. That's why he can't be considered a great. Because if you guys think one fight a year puts you up with the greats, nah, I'm sorry, then you really, like, that shows you have no interest in historical context. None at all. So if he gets rid of all the belts, says Base, he's still lineal champ. So he's still holding things up. Is that the case? In that case, I don't get the context of that. Mayweather, Canelo. We're not talking about Mayweather and Canelo. Why are we bringing other fighters? We're talking about Alexander. If we're talking about Canelo, then we talk about Canelo. Talk about Canelo Benavidez. We talk about Canelo this and that. We're talking about Usyk. We're talking about Usyk. You can't justify what Usyk's doing by bringing in someone else's resume. That's not how it's done. That's not fair. It's not Mayweather holding up the heavy. Mayweather's retired. He's retired.
All right, I'm out on the road. What's the sound like? Because I think you're losing context of what I'm trying to say on typing. I'm with my dog, so I've got one hand to kind of do this at the minute. Look, so what I'm saying is, you said your point was, you said he's the lineal champion, so he is holding things up. That's what you said. So I'm asking you, well, if he's the lineal champion and he gets rid of all the belts, he's still the lineal champion, right? So if he gets rid of the belts, is he still holding things up because he's still lineal? Do they have? Is it that they have to fight him in order to now become the champ, or can they just be title holders? That's what I was trying to ask. In your opinion,
if he gives up all the belts and he's still lineal champion, and he's not fighting any of the contenders, it's almost interchangeable whether it's the belts or not, isn't it? He's still he's the main guy. And he's not.
That's what I'm asking, because you said because you didn't say he's got a belt. So because remember I said he's not holding things up because he dropped the belt to Fabio.
It doesn't matter whether it's the belts. He's holding up the belts, and he's holding up lineage. Either way, either or either, it's interchangeable.
Okay, so then my point was, well, he gave up one of the belts as to not hold it up. So in that case, that gives someone else the opportunity to fight for a belt and to prove their ranking. More than likely, if he gives up others, he's not holding anything up, is he? Or are you just saying, no, they can't ever be the man unless he retires or something? Is that then the case?
If you give up one belt, that is 25% of the championship worth. That's only 20. Give up if you don't want to fight, give up all the scraps. Right now, we fight in an era where it's 4 scraps, to be undisputed. Give them all up, and then you can give up lineage as well. Yeah?
Okay, if he fights once a year, All right, go on. I didn't want to interrupt
No,
you.
no,
Apologies.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Okay, no. So if we're saying, because basically we've got four sanctioning bodies, right? So we're saying the best are the people who are defined by the top of the sanctioning bodies. Is that the criteria we're going on? Is that the criteria we're going on? Like the best of the people that are at the top of each sanctioning body, like they're either the mandatories, the number ones, the interims, which they shouldn't be because he's not injured. But is that the criteria?
We'd have to say who they've got ranked around the top positions, mandatories, interims. Yeah, they're the best. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right. So in that sense, if he's only fighting once a year, then he's also holding up the division by that stake, right? Even if he is fighting the best, because someone's still got to wait 4 years to get the opportunity.
Well, one fight
from the first to the end.
Well, one fight against the best is better than none. If you fight Wardley for the one fight of the year, you would have satisfied some of your obligations. There's no way he's not going to fight all 4 mandatories in a year, right? You fight Wardley, then okay, but none at all. And going outside the top 15. What good does it do boxing? What good does it do?
It does no good for boxing. As I said, he should give up. He should give up the belts if he wants to do that. But I'm just saying, by the logic you applied earlier, if he's got rid of one of the straps and allowed someone else the opportunity to become a champion, and then he does it again, or he now fights the next best person after this gimme fight, if that's what we want to call it, is that holding up the division? Or if he gets rid of a couple of the belts and keeps a couple and then goes back for them after, is that holding it up? Or he's politicking, but is that holding it up? That's my question. If he gives up the belts, because then at least then people are getting to fight for straps.
You're trying to fight Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz, who are not ranked contenders, and you hold 3 straps and the lineal title. Yes, holding it up.
Well, Wilder is ranked technically. He's top 15, which they allow as a voluntary.
So, all right, you think Wilder is a credible contender right now?
I didn't say that. I said as a voluntary, which is what he is allowed. That's what he's been. That's what they stipulated. He is allowed.
How did he get that top 15 ranking? He got that top 15 ranking when Usyk called him out.
I don't know when he got the. I know he's number 14 in the WBC.
That's why. Well, before Usyk called him out, he wasn't ranked. He wasn't ranked because before that he was beaten by Zhang and Parker, and he had the one fight against Herndon. He wasn't ranked until Usyk.
Had they done? Did they do? I'm asking because I don't know this because I didn't check.
I'll tell you, he wasn't ranked until Usyk called him out. Just like Derek Chisora wasn't ranked until Tyson Fury called him out.
It is.
Everybody disagreed.
Either way, like I said, that's their voluntary rule.
So
very true.
Like I said before, right? We don't rely on the sanctioning bodies alone for the standards to be maintained. Because if we did, boxing would be a piece of shit. And it is a piece of shit. Right? So AJ, like Simon Jordan's quoted it, AJ, like you said, if it wasn't for AJ giving me the mandatory, he wouldn't have had the platform to achieve what he's achieved. So AJ gave him a shot, but Usyk isn't giving anyone a chance to make their name. He's just holding on to the belts, playing politics. But according to you, that seems to be okay because you're defending it. You can't say you're not defending it because you are. You are defending.
I'm not defending. No, there's a difference between defending.
What is it we're talking about then?
You're being emotional and defensive now.
All right, you can say, all right, if I'm being emotional.
How many times did I just say to you?
Are you so what are you saying?
How many?
Are you saying?
How many times did I say to you? He should give up the belt if he wants to do.
If you're not arguing for Wilder and Ruiz, what are you arguing for then?
I'm debating the rationale of his points, Beats. I did not say I agree with it. I said to you on several occasions.
That's not going to get. That's not that rationale of his points. We're not going to conclude at any time. Should he be fighting Parker, not Wardley, Caballero, or Wilder, or Ruiz?
I think he should be fighting Caballero. I think Caballero is the one who's.
There we go. We don't really need to debate no more then.
But Beats, no, but I can rush it. No, Beats, don't do that. Don't do that. Like now, because you're trying to compartmentalize that. Beats, what I'm saying to you.
Where's this debate going? Where's it going?
It's a debate. It's a rationalization of the reasons behind what he said.
If you out of your own mouth say you should fight Caballero, I don't see where else the debate can go.
I'm just explaining to you my reasons and what I said from before. You then misinterpreted or tried to twist what I was saying, so I came on to defend it. But what I'm defending is what he's doing is not wrong by the letter, because you said he's holding up by not fighting his mandatory. I said they ain't been called yet. That's what I said. And you took it somewhere, so I said, let me come on and debate with you.
I'm telling you, if you are in the interim position, whether the mandatories call it or not, the sanctioning calls it or not, you shouldn't have to wait for the sanctioning bodies to call it. If he's in your interim position, right, they put him in a position where he's next up, whether they call it or not. He's in position to be up next. Not Wilder and not Andy Ruiz.
But even with that, Beats, here's the problem. Who's next up? What do you mean who's next up? Because you're saying if they're in the position to be next up, who's next up? But how do we know who the next person is? If there's more than one belt with more than one interim or more than one number one contender, guess what? There's a dispute there.
There's no dispute.
If there's four different people in the number one spot, there is a dispute because we don't know who is next.
Already, I'm not waiting for the sanctioning body's commands. As it stands now, Ajit Caballero is in the interim position with one of the straps, and Wardley has one of the straps. That's what I'm saying to you. I'm not waiting. See, you're playing. I need the sanctioning bodies to legitimize the sport for me. I'm not playing that. I'm playing who are the best two contenders on current form.
Okay, but so does Gassiev not have a strap as well? Because if you're talking about straps, does Gassiev not have the WBA regular, which they're supposed to get segued into a super?
He's not credible.
But who are we to say that if he's got one of the straps? No, Beats. No, Beats. I didn't cut you off. No, don't do that. Beats, if he has one of the straps that entitles him to a shot.
If you cannot see, hold on. I'm sorry, right? I'm not going to waste my evening arguing with you if you think beating Pulev and the AG is credible. I'm not wasting my time because then it's a stupid debate. Now it's a dumb debate. Now you're just debating to debate.
No, not at all. What I'm saying is what you're saying still has flaws to it.
So you know that what's his name? Gassiev is not a credible contender. You know that, right? Beating Pulev doesn't make you a credible contender. You know that, yeah? If you know boxing. Is that true or not? Or what did I say was wrong?
What I said that you said that the guys with number one. No, you said one. You said one. No, Beats. No, because you're trying to take the context out of what I said.
Wait. Answer the question.
To make your point.
Wait. Answer the question. Is beating Pulev or whatever belt, does that make you as credible as Wardley beating Parker or Caballero with his last 3 victories? Does that make Gassiev as credible?
In my opinion, no. But that's not what you said before. If you because you changed the argument, Beats. You tried to change the argument. You changed Beats. You changed what you said. Beats, you changed what you said, and I'm challenging your point. But Beats. But rather than you actually say, okay, cool, that's not the point I was trying to make. You tried to reframe your question, which is not what you said.
Wait. You said, well, you said, what about Gassiev then? You said, Well, if Caballero and Wardley need a fight, well, what about Gassiev? And then you shut down your whole point by saying he's not credible.
No, you said no. What you said is one's got an interim and one has a title, and that's what makes them. That's what makes them next in line. That's what you said. So then I said, well, if that's the case, how do we know who is next in line if you consider that Gassiev also has the belt which entitles him to a shot?
I'm not getting
That's what I said.
I'm not being funny, yeah? I'm getting nothing out of this debate right now. I'm getting nothing out of it. I'm just being real with you. I'm getting nothing out of it. I'll be honest with you.
Is that because you don't want to, or all right, cool.
No, it's just making no sense. It's not really making no sense because you shut down your own point. You even shut down your own point. You introduced Gassiev into it, and then when I asked you, is Gassiev a credible contender? You said no. So why did you introduce him into the debate?
No, I introduced him because of what you said. Because you said we was asking. I said, how do we know who is next up? And you said, don't worry about the sanctioning bodies. It's whoever's got a belt or whoever's interim, which is why I put him in there. Because the IBF have also got their person as well.
Base, I can't do this. I'm getting a headache. I'll concede. Then if you're right, then you're right. I don't think Ruiz or Wilder should be getting a shot. I don't think Gassiev should be. But apparently, you think it's worthy of debating. I don't. So I'll concede. Because I'll just be arguing. If you're going to bring these debates up, and you don't even believe that Gassiev should be a contender, you don't believe Ruiz or Wilder should be a contender, then I don't really know what I'm debating here. It's just like I'm not really getting nothing out of it at this point. Out of the debate, it's going nowhere, isn't it? Where's it going? Nowhere.
That's fair. Now I'm just providing you some context. That's all. Like we don't have to agree on it.
I appreciate that. I don't think we can stretch it any further. I think you've made your position on that. I don't think we can stretch it any further. You know what I mean? I can't anyway. I can't think.
No, please. It's all love. There's no problems. It's all love.
Yeah, man. All love. I think it's redundant that there. You know what I mean?
All right, no, say no more. You know, my battery going down in a minute anyway, so I'm gonna get out of here. I'll let you finish the stream.
All right.
As always, bless up. All right.
Take care, bro. So, hey, Edwin Dos Santos has just signed with Zuffa Boxing. Edwin Dos Santos just signed with Zuffa. It's all happening, bro. It's all happening. Wow. Edwin Dos Santos. Zuffa making them moves, bro. Zuffa making them moves. So who's he going to fight then? I thought they were like, he's a credible contender, isn't he? Where's he ranked at 135? Like Keyshawn pulled out, didn't he? He came in overweight. Where's Dos Santos ranked? These people ain't messing about, bro. They done a complete bait and switch. They thought, oh, you're just going to get mediocre club fighters on Zuffa. I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. Let's have a look. 135. Chris Schofield Nunes. They haven't updated. Got ads all over the place. Lucas Bardi. I've got to do some info on that guy. Marcus Roach. I don't think he's even ranked. Well, he's not in the top 6 anyway. Edwin Dos Santos. Can't really see him. But then again, he might not be fighting for none of the sanctioning straps. He's not ranked anyway. He's probably like since Keyshawn pulled out, I don't think he's fought, so he probably hasn't got a ranking of any significance anyway. Still a good signing though, because he gave Shakur, well, he made people question Shakur's legitimacy after the performance, because Shakur didn't really want to engage like that. Who next? They're building a nice little stable there, aren't it? Building a nice little stable over there. Right, people are already weighing up the Tyson undercard, man. You see what they're doing? They're trying to nick fights now from Matchroom. They want Shearers and Pacheco in the undercard. Devin versus Gasayev. These are still supposed to be the zone fights. Callum versus Morrell. Wow. T Street is asking, yeah, I was talking about PBC moving to the zone. It's a wild twist of events. Yeah. Are PBC planning to make the zone a permanent home? They could do. They could do. How much legs is left on the Amazon deal? Damn. Yeah, he hasn't fought in 2 years. Social Jones, you've got champs not wanting to fight, and Dana in the back, selling them their vision. Idle fighters will stay around waiting for promoters. Show them the money they're gone. Yeah, you notice you licks when he's talking about Dana, Eddie now, he's calmed it down. It's no more his bravado. Nah, yeah, he's calmed down a lot. He's calmed down a lot because he doesn't know where the next air raid is coming from. Yeah. Yeah, they're saying, yeah, you're right. DeSantos wasn't going anywhere in his career, but he could still be matched in some very good fights. Exit, he said, I agree with Beats. If Usyk was fighting twice or 3 times a year, then fighting Ruiz or Wilder for one of those fights is fine. But if Ruiz or Wilder is his only fight in 2026, that's BS. Of course, isn't that why we hammered Tyson Fury when he fought Chisora? And then, what's his name? The MMA fighter. Yeah, that's why we hammered Tyson Fury. But Usyk, you know what I mean? Usyk, people do sanctioning body acrobatics for Usyk. I don't know, man. Josh Kelly, he said, I'll stop Bakram Matazaliev. Maybe. Matt from hoping to make Jack Catterall versus Conor Walker. Wow, that's a good fight, boy. Hey, imagine if Conor Walker beat Jack Catterall. I reckon he could beat him, you know. I think he's improved that much. He could beat him. Yeah. I think he could beat him. After beating Pat McCormack, he'll be confident. Yeah, it's even Dan. Dan cannot. Everyone's saying what I'm saying. Everyone is saying what I'm saying. Pretty certain we see Fury AJ on Netflix this fall. Everybody's quoting from what I said in my video. I left the link. Let me see if I can find the link and I'll put it back in again before we get out of here. Everyone's saying that. Told you. You look. So as PBC have that can be on the zone. I ain't recalled anyone signing. Boy, they got half the PBC on that Barrios Garcia card. They got Antoine Russell, Barrios. Who else is on there? Hitchens. Hitchens. I don't know who Hitchens is representing. Who's Hitchens representing? Free agent. Free agent, I think. It used to be PBC. It's half a PBC card. Half Golden Boy, half PBC. Is Katie Taylor going to fight again? All right, I think Katie's done with it. Is that John Hedges? Is John Hedges avoiding Pat Brown? Wow, they don't want the they don't want the Pat Brown smoke, bro. That's been an English title. What about Vidal Riley? Is Vidal Riley avoiding him? Why aren't you saying who the manager is? Who's the manager, Sam? Or are you just doing some clout chasing? Sam could be clout chasing for all I know. You know what I mean? Could be clout chasing. All right, people. Peace.